It seems like every time we go on the air now, we're getting breaking news. And each show today that I've done, we broke the Mike Evans stuff earlier because our source within the Buccaneers was saying that Mike Evans was going to miss between 2 to 3 weeks because of a hamstring injury. And now all of a sudden, we're seeing the Ian Rappaport that Gardner Johnson has just been cut by the Texans. Now, there is no doubt Gardner Johnson is a fine ball player, and it's a surprise to a lot of people here. Ian Rappaport's reporting this, and that CJ Gardner Johnson is being released by the Houston Texans. And Jimmy Ward is now being reinstated. So obviously that played a factor in Gardner Johnson. So, folks, I know it immediately the initial conversation is going to be, should the Eagles bring him back? How bad do you think your safety position is right now? And with Gardner Johnson, what would he bring back to a defense that he excelled in a year ago? The 2 years that he has been in Philadelphia, he has been a superstar. 12 interceptions, 2 NFC championships, and a Super Bowl, but he's an asshole. Do you bring him back? Do you at least have a conversation about it? I think you at least have to go pros and cons about bringing a guy like that back. Now, you're talking about environment. One of the reasons that they got rid of him is because of the back and forth that he had with the coaches. Listen, if you can't get along with DeMeco Ryans and his coaching staff, you are truly an asshole. Okay, now, does Vic want to coach that asshole? And plus, I got to say, now that he's been released, first you have to see if where his mind is. But now that he's released, do you call him? You get him on a deal, too. You don't have to pay the $11 million that he was going to make this year. Now you go to highest bidder if you're him. That contract is now void. Only the bonuses and all that was promised to him, signing bonuses, it's owed to him. And I'm talking about if any of that stuff got prorated. I don't know. I don't know what the contract looks like. But you can't keep bouncing around teams, and you can't keep having people say this. Guy's a great player, but he's an asshole. Now, do you bring him back? Let's do both sides of it, and then we'll do a conclusion. How many people want CJ Gardner Johnson back in the Philadelphia Eagle jersey? How many want him back in the building? Knowing full well, by the way, does that mean that Reed Blankenship's play picks up too? Right? See a lot of people in here wanting him back. Kimberly says no. Me, yes. Sir Mix, yes. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. So let's do the pros first. He's better than anything you got the safety position right now. He's a better player than anybody you have, including Reed Blankenship. Andrew Makuba is not better than him. So automatically, he's excelled in this system. He's excelled in it. He's better than anybody you have on the roster. Okay? He's been in 2 Super Bowls. Okay? When it comes to player production, he is, again, he's a great player for them. And he's been instrumental in your most successful seasons in franchise history. So there's a lot to want to say, bring him back. Here's the other side. Got a lot of young football players on that side. And let me ask you this. Okay? Add this to the mix. You got a very immature Jalen Carter that's in that huddle. Do you want to add another asshole into that huddle? I mean, you need leadership in there. You don't need another asshole. So that's something else too. Yeah, we just got another unsportsmanlike conduct because they're looking for it. I thought it was stupid too by the refs. But yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Lamar, I don't need another immature player in my defensive huddle. But I don't want him not to be on the team because he's an asshole. The guy's a good football player. I'm going to play with that asshole. I'm not talking about going on a date with him. I'm talking about winning football games here. Dude, if you're looking for best friends, the NFL's the wrong place. Here, and do this. Always know that this conversation goes down this line. They put people who assault people in your locker room. They put people who beat kids. They put people who are domestic abusers in your locker room. A guy who's an asshole is the least of my concerns, isn't it? I mean, we're not talking about somebody making a stupid comment like that bonehead wide receiver you had a couple of years ago. Yeah, nobody cares about that shit either. All right, this is harmless stuff. Again, if we're talking about domestic violence, that's one thing. This guy's just an asshole. I don't have a problem with that. Patullo play calling is worse than Scoot called Parkway. Plus, I think they would only make a move if they get beat soundly by the Bucs, especially if the secondary is a factor in this game, which it might be. Since Isaiah Rodgers is out there getting 2 TDs and we're stuck with Ray Jackson and Kelly Bingo and Jacoby Benyay. Hey, I'm going to say something here. I'm going to bring him in and sign him. He's better than anybody you got, and he's played in that system, and he's played for Vic. My only problem would be if Christian Parker and him could get along. Okay? If Christian Parker and him can get along, then I'm going to sign him. If my coach says no, I'm probably not going to sign him. Okay? Okay? So again, by the way, we have Mark Farzetta on with us. Okay? We will talk with him. That'll be at 4:30. Also, Anthony Beck, former Buccaneer tight end, is going to be with us at 3:30. Xander's going to be with us today, right after those guys, and we'll clean up. He'll be the closing act here today as we are packed once again. Please, guys, hit the like button. How many people would be in favor of bringing Gardner Johnson back? It's a tough one because player-wise, I think it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Character-wise, there has to be something to this. It has to be a character issue. Okay? It has to be. I mean, right? It has to be. He is worth it. That's the better question. Is it worth bringing Gardner Johnson back? I like that one better. Is it worth bringing Gardner Johnson back? Risk reward. Yes. He's an asshole. This guy is an asshole. Okay. Has he helped you with 2 of the most successful years in franchise history? Yes. You bring him in. Let the chips fall where they may. And by the way, because you're going to get him at a reduced salary, the expense for it is not going to be high risk. Because now what you do is you go to his agent and you say, look, this guy's been traded. This guy's been fired. He's not a $10 million guy because of the risk. And for me, he hasn't really played that well in the first 2 games of the season. First 3 games of the year, he's not played well. He hasn't. Now, it's a different system with different players. you do have Derek Stingley back there. So what's the excuse? I mean, they're 0-3. They're not 0-3 because of him. This guy has played, and I see, he's played championship football for the Eagles. By the way, am I right when I say this? That Gardner Johnson has been to the playoffs 3 straight years, right? Okay? Something is off. They converted 6.5 of his to a signing bonus 3 weeks ago. They wanted him. Something happened, I think. This is over salary now. They asked him because, you know why? Remember that number that he was going to make this year was something like $10 million. And they wanted to convert that money to a signing bonus to lower it so they can have salary cap relief. And he didn't want to do it. Something happened salary-wise. So this is basically a money move from what I'm reading. Xander just posted this to me. Something is off. They did convert it, though. Well, then he must have had a problem with that because, and this is why they did it. They converted it so they can release him and they don't have a big cap hit because of the kid that just got activated today. They were planning this move. Is something off the field coming? A lot of speculation on why they would cut him like that and why they would change his contract around. CJ and Makuba would be a nice tandem. Gardner Johnson's situation reminds me of Charles Haley. Now, to Xander's point, he's never had anything off the field. He's not had an off the field issue. That stuff's been internal. Unless somebody can point something to me that he's had like character issues with women or something off the field, because I have not heard any of that since he came out of Florida. So I have not heard any of that where he's been problems off the field and out of the locker room. It's been most of the chirping shit that's inside the locker room. So to speculate that something off the field, I think this had more to do, once again, like I said, with the fact that Jimmy Ward is being reinstated and that they wanted to be able to cut the guy loose so that they could not have a big cap hit here. And I guess they're saying that he's not played well in the first 3 games. His argument with the coach is, can't do that. We won a Super Bowl with him. If he's that bad in the locker room, then what is it enough to prevent us from winning a Super Bowl? It wasn't enough for us to prevent it from winning a Super Bowl for us. He's right. This guy being an asshole and this guy being a whatever, if you think he's a bad guy, it wasn't enough to derail you in the locker room. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that that guy's not and would not be an additional help to the football team. He's played in this system, and it's probably going to be a better fit for him than it was in Houston. He was going to a brand new system. So what? He's an asshole. What do you have? Sidney Brown, who can't tackle, who can't make plays? Why would you not at least entertain him, especially for the money? I mean, 15 tackles, 11 solo, 1 quarterback hit in 3 games. Not terrible. By any stretch of the imagination, that's not terrible. Bring him back. Best D guys are assholes. I love Romanowski. Romanowski's in that conversation. I'm sick of this Sidney Brown slander. Well, it'll stop when he plays better. The bigger mistake was Isaiah Rodgers. I get it. Probably going to be the defensive NFC player of the week with what he did with those 2 picks. We told you. Isaiah Rodgers, you see why Vic Fangio loved the guy and why he went to him and didn't go to anybody else on the roster. Move CJ to the slot, move Koopa. No. I'd put CJ back at the safety position and keep Cooper where he is. I don't really think Cooper's been great. I don't think he's been bad, but he's been Cooper DeJean. He's a good player right now. He's not off to the same sensational start as he was a year ago, but that's a high-end bar that you're talking about him touching. I don't think he's been bad. I'm not criticizing him. But I think the safety, they have not replaced. Here, have the Eagles replaced Gardner Johnson's position? Ask yourself that. I think that'll probably be a better place to start. Do you think that Makuba and Sidney Brown have replaced CJ's production and productivity? Do you? Hey, Spike, you don't like the fucking question? Move on. Sick of it. Gardner Johnson's out there. You don't like the conversation? Move the fuck on. Hey, what do you guys think? Have you replaced it? Do you think the Eagles? Absolutely not. Okay, how many people believe that Makuba's replaced CJ Gardner, which is a fucking brutal take? He's not replaced him by any stretch of the imagination. You fucking kidding me? He's replaced him. Another stupid ass take. Seals, if we had CJ and Becton, we'd be much better off. Yeah, well, don't go with the Becton right now. GP, I hear what you're saying. Okay? Hey, Keith, I'm with you. Andrew Makuba has not replaced him yet. I'm with you on that. Okay, I am. I think there's a chance he could, yes. Watch for yourselves. I see a lot of blown coverages in that secondary, especially Ed Reed Blankenship is a disappointment. He has been. It was issues with his ex and his mental health. There was issues. What were they, Kim? I don't remember them. But Makuba has been fine compared to CJ getting toasted multiple. Dude, Drew, Gardner Johnson was the 13th highest ranked safety a year ago with his play. Stop the bullshit lies. So CJ might go to the Ravens to help that secondary. Where's that guy that was here? That was the D coordinator in Tennessee. That was your DB coach a couple of years back in the 22 Super Bowl. Wherever that guy is, he may go there because that guy really liked Gardner Johnson. Give me 22 lunatics. You don't win championships with choir boys. That's a damn true statement. And now he's getting dropped by the Texans after 3 games still. Stop with the lies. What lies? That he helped you get to a Super Bowl? 2 years he's been an Eagle? He had 12 interceptions? What's the fucking lie? Seals, what do you make of Q's play for 3 weeks? Not horrible without Slay and CJ. Gives up some plays, but holds his own. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been bad, but I don't think he's been exceptional. I would love to see CJ back, but I think that was an internal personal decision by management to let him go. I don't see him coming back. Well, and I agree, Juice. But Juice, ask yourself, are you better off with him or without him? I mean, wouldn't you rather have another good player instead of a player that you're still trying to develop? And I don't want to develop. I don't want to develop another guy. I want a player who can play right now and help me win my football games, right? Dan, it's like you to say it's fine to be an asshole, but you need to direct it. Like Carter has been an asshole. He just needs to direct it correctly. Correct. You're right. Same thing for CJ. I don't know CJ can do that. Hey, K-Guns, I don't know he can. And I think that's probably one of the reasons that this guy has no fail-safe in his own way he handles himself. So there's either something happened in Houston. I don't think it's player related because those numbers aren't terrible. They restructured his contract, okay? Something got twisted up between management and him. And that guy's a hothead. And I'm sure he said something in the building, plus there's a reinstatement of a player. So you take that into consideration with them putting Jimmy Ward back in reinstatement. So all of that played into this. Could you get a player that's been cut? Now that you get a reduced contract, you get him at the league minimum? Would you not want that? What's the risk? So, Sills, would you start CJ and Makuba together? No, I'd put CJ and Reed together. They were a great tandem a year ago. And Makuba would come off the bench and get a lot of playing time. And then I would eventually hope that Makuba beat CJ out. Remember, you're not going to pay this guy $10 million. Nobody in the league's going to pay him $10 million with character issues that could go sideways at any moment in the locker room. I use that to my advantage. I'm going to give you guys, get this, right, Xander? Shit, John and everybody's talking about Jalen Carter's immaturity and how the Eagles may use that against him in signing him to a contract extension. Well, why wouldn't you apply that same mentality on CJ and go, listen, we'll bring you back here, but here's the number, and I don't want any shit out of you. You don't have any latitude in this locker room. We can't have any of that. Dude, nobody wanted you gone the first time. We can't have it. And if he agrees, bring him in. It's low risk. It is low risk. And he's a good player, and he's better than anything you have. And you hope Makuba beats him out. Dude, I'm hoping Makuba would beat him out. Juice, I agree with you 100%. But I don't think they want him. And this release by Houston doesn't help his case. I think it does with the Eagles. Because then the Eagles could go league minimum. You want it or not? League minimum, you want it or not, which means this. There's no risk. What's the risk? $1 million too? For Gardner Johnson, who's a $10 million. I'll tell you what. I'll pay Gardner Johnson $10 million before I play fucking Reed Blankenship $10 million. And even with him being an asshole, I'll pay CJ. CJ's a better player. Now, Reed's a more reliable player. Reed needs to be benched. I want CJ back. I'm not bent. No. Marshall, he was great with him. Put him next to him. I guarantee you it elevates the play of Reed. How about this, guys? I bet you $1 million that Reed Blankenship prays the Eagles bring this guy back. Playing next to him versus playing against the rookie guys and a guy who can't tackle. I can't think that's how it's helping his play. Sills, I think it's not a bad idea to grab him. Since we're low for safety depth, correct? And God forbid something happens, you know better to have him and not need him than to need him and not have him. Abe, it's a great take. And he's cheap. Dude, the most you'll pay for him. And here, put a number on the table. Other teams want to pay more money? More power to you. If I'm Howie, I see this, I make a play and I say, here's the parameter. Put parameters on it. Listen here, man. And have Vic talk to him. Have Christian Parker talk to him. Bro, you'd be great here. You know how we think of you. But we also know how you act. Do you want to be here or not? Nobody gets third chances. This would be a third chance. Do you want to take advantage of this, or do you want to be out of the league in 2 years? His agent's got to be telling him this too. Dude, the next place has got to be a place where you stay for 3-4 years. You can't be a dickhead. They will blow you out of this league, man. Look at Hassan Reddick. How does a guy with double-digit sacks have all these teams he's been on? Because he's a dickhead. Nobody wants to put up with a dickhead. As great as you are. Can I tell you what's attracting to me on him? It's the money. The only reason I'm talking about Gardner Johnson is because he's productive and he'll be cheap. My cheap. Well, still, someone will pay more than $3.5 million for him. More power to you. I'm not going north of that. We feel comfortable at $3.5 million. And by the way, no signing bonus. We're going to put the signing bonus into some clauses in here that if you're on the team in 3 weeks, you get percentages of a signing bonus we give you. If you're not, you void it. Put parameters around it. Make it hard for him to be an asshole. Dude, this guy is a great general manager when it comes to money like that. He's a fucking brilliant general manager. And when you can get a football player like this, and you can kind of dictate, and you can kind of dictate, okay? Right? You got a lot going for you here. Okay? I'm not bringing back a problem and benched our dude, your draft pick's not better than him. So you want a draft pick going against Baker Mayfield and all the rest of the quarterbacks you're going to have to face. I just said it gives him an opportunity like Nolan Smith a year ago sitting behind Brandon Graham and learning the position and then being put into a centerfold piece where you become that guy. Or like Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith. You get an understanding of how you look at the game. You got another good player around you. Not bringing him back to bench a kid who's played 3 NFL games. Dumb take. Seems like CJ just can't get the big contract. Is it play, attitude, or both? I think it's his attitude. Bro, take it from me. Sometimes the way you think of things and how people see you are going to be the reason that you don't ever reach where you need to go. And you get in your own way. Okay? You get in your own way. Seals, isn't there a rule you can't acquire a player in the same league year you traded him? I did not know that. If that's the case, then this whole thing is a Now wait. Now here, you're not trading for him though. You can't acquire a player off the wire. You're not acquiring him in a trade. He's been cut. You can't re-sign a player if he's been cut. Big rhythm. I think you're talking about you can't trade a guy and then go back because we were talking about going and getting Reddick and trading him back. And there were draft picks involved with that, like a 3rd rounder and a contingent 3rd. This guy's been cut. Every NFL team, I think, has the ability to sign him. So acquire him. He's been cut. All 32 teams have an opportunity at grabbing him. Having CJ back would relieve a lot of pressure on Coop and cornerback too. Agreed. Plus, he's excelled in the system. He's excelled in it. I think belt to ass isn't the image Laurie wants on the team. I have to think CJ was a Jeff cut more than a Howie or the coaches. I maybe. Yeah, no, Rhythm. I think you're wrong on that one. I think you can't trade a player and then go trade for him again. I think you're right, but he's been released. Just check league rules. We can sign him, Sells. Yeah, I think it's trade. But since he's been cut, see, here's my take. Dude, 12 picks in 2 years. He was number one in interceptions one year, and he was number two the other year he was here. I don't know how you don't look at that and think that wouldn't be an advantage. He's the best safety right now you could sign. You can't trade for a player, but you can't sign a player that's a free agent. But wouldn't they have brung in Simmons? Simmons is not better than CJ right now. I don't think Justin Simmons is better. CJ and Parker don't get along. True. We reported that to you, and some of you laughed at it, but it turned out to be true. Sills, when the F are we getting Bennett? Hey, I wrote that down. That Jacorian Bennett trade doesn't look like it really panned out with the Raiders. That guy's not starting yet. What was the draft pick you gave up for Bennett? What was the draft pick? This guy's been here how many months now? 4? And he can't start at corner? I don't know. That doesn't sound. If you guys traded a third rounder for him, then in my opinion, that's a bad trade. Because that guy has not been able to win a job. A 5th? All right, well, that's not awful. You traded a 5th round pick for a good football player? All right. Because he ain't won that job over Adoree Jackson. CBS reporter Jonathan Jones just reported he can't rule out a reunion. Okay? We're starting to get somewhere now. Now, also, to Xander's point, if this is true about this contract, maybe he's asked for his release. And he wanted out. So he could pick a landing spot with either the Saints or the Eagles or the Cardinals because of Jonathan Gannon. Supposedly Jonathan Gannon and him have a good relationship. So, hey, don't go to sleep on the Cardinals. No, Gardner, I'm not saying requested a trade. I'm saying Gardner Johnson probably requested his release. And that's why they converted the money. So they could release him when they were able to get back the reinstated player, Jimmy Ward. This thing may have been orchestrated a week ago. Sign CJ to a 3-year contract? Absolutely not. I'm giving him a 1-year deal. I'm not going anywhere near any kind of commitment. I'm not committing money. I'm not committing years to Gardner Johnson. No way. Dude, I'm committing weeks to him. I'll give you weeks. I am not giving you anything where I think that I could have the disadvantage. I'm not giving you signing bonus. I'm not giving you years, and I'm surely not giving you a decent base. And a decent base for a player like that would probably be $7 million. That's not fucking happening. No way. Dude, I'm going north of the league minimum, 1.5, maybe 2.5 for him. And if he says no, so be it. I'm 3-0. I don't need you. You want to build your equity back up where people think you're a good dude or somewhat decent to be able to handle? Maybe get back to another Super Bowl? Act like a civilian and act civilized? I'll give you a shot. What do you want? You'll be on the Eagles too. You got to weigh that out, man. Because his agent would do this. Hey, I'm talking to the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie. Howie's got some interest. Not a lot. What I would do is I was his agent. I'd put him on the horn with Howie and tell him this. Kid, if I were you, I'd ask Howie and say, listen, how do we make this happen and how do we get to yes? What do you want from me? I want this, this, and this. And Howie'd probably go, let me get back to you. They would go to the coaches. They would go to the owner. The general manager would go to the position coaches and maybe some of the team leadership. What do you think? And get this, he could play this weekend. That dude would be able to play against the Bucs if you did this now. Still, sounds like you want him back. Yeah, I do. With parameters. I don't want him back at any cost. That's not going to happen. Not at any cost. Stills, when Howie's looking into him, what is he allowed to ask in case? Again, that's a great question, Josh, because you're not allowed to ask because of the collective bargaining agreement, personal questions off the field. But if I were Gardner Johnson, I would offer him up. Because you got to make him feel comfortable about wanting to even attempt this. And I'm probably thinking Howie's probably like, kind of, sort of. You treat players like Gardner Johnson like you. Yes, like you hauls for a 1-year rental. Yes, right. You buy the insurance, gets a couple dents on it, you're okay with it, and you move on. You take it back. He's a mercenary kind of player. Absolutely. Give him $5 million? I don't know, man. That's awful rich for me. Here's $3 million, $3.5 million. We're going to have bonuses in here where if you're on the team and you're acting like a civilized human, here's some bonuses. Percentage of playing time. Doing all that, I'll give you a shot. Other than that, I am not going overboard. Giving him years. No, thank you. This guy doesn't have years. His agent's got to have a come to Jesus conversation with him about where he is in his career. Seriously, your agent would come to you and go, okay, let's see this now. The Lions, you screwed that up. The Eagles, you screwed that up. Something happened here in Houston, okay? Teams don't like distractions. I don't care how good you are. They don't like distractions. Right? That's not. Okay? Make him, hey, what? Yeah, well, I don't want my football players in Taylor Swift clubs. That's the problem you have with Travis Swift right now, is that he's in that club and he's no longer Travis Kelce. Do you get same CJ as a player if you force him not to be CJ? Dog, I'm not telling you to be a different player on the field. I'm telling you to be a different human in the locker room. And I'm talking about just fucking acting right. Showing up to meetings on time. Not being an asshole to your position coach or coordinator. When someone asks you a question, answer it like a professional. I just want you to be a pro. I'm not asking you to be Mother Teresa. I'm just asking you to be a civilized human when we're fucking having conversations with you. And I don't want you always bitching at something. Listen, I want your input. You're a good football player. But I don't want you to be an asshole. Dude, I'll coach assholes. That's not a problem. I won't coach insubordination. Coaches hate that word, insubordination. Do you know some of the stuff that goes on the sidelines? That's the shit I talk about with insubordination. Okay? That's the stuff I talk about. For the Texans to cut CJ that quickly, when they kept Watson for whatever long tells you CJ is a big issue, a bigger issue than what we're thinking. I get it's quarterback versus safety, but still. Probably. He probably didn't fit into that culture. Dude, not everybody does. Hey, how about this? Do you think Howie should at least Howie should at least look into it. Right? Right? Three teams in 4 years, he's a problem. Yeah, inside those 4 years, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he had the best record. If I'm not mistaken, he's gone to 3 conference championship games in a row, has he not? He went to a conference championship game, if I'm not mistaken, in 23 with the Lions, right? The Lions went to the NFC championship game. Is that correct? And they got beat by the 49ers, right? 22, he went to an NFC championship game, right? 24, he went to an NFC championship game, right? So 3 straight years, that guy's been to an NFC championship game. Is that correct? And you don't want to inquire about that? And he won 2 NFC titles with you in a Super Bowl. It's a no-brainer to talk to him. That guy's gone to 3 straight conference championship games. And he's been productive. I wouldn't mind having him back on the squad. I wouldn't either. I would worry that CJ wouldn't have learned his lesson being re-signed by the Super Bowl champs. My friend, he helped bring the Super Bowl trophy to you. Learn his lesson? CJ's the Dennis Rodman of the NFL. Rodman won 5 championships and won 11 rebounding titles and 3 Player of the Year awards as the Defensive Player of the Year. So I'll take that, and I don't care about the dresses. 15 tackles in 3 games for a safety. Couple TFLs, 3 of them. I think he's got a pick. I don't know. Do you want him back, Sills? So that's a yes. Well, here, like I said, 1-year prove-it deal. No signing bonus. $2.5 to $3 million. Take it or leave it. I'm giving you a chance to build your reputation back and get yourself in a position to go make some money in the offseason. Know this. The chances of you being on this team after this year are very slim. But we have an opening. Now, here's another thing. I'm comfortable going forward with Makuba and Sydney. And I'll die on the vine with that before I'll sit here and bend to you. I'd like to have you, but I'm not coming. There's no negotiating. This is not a negotiation. I'm not going to negotiate with it. The Eagles have too much to offer. They would have the upper hand in this, not him. Hey, you want to be a guy who's competing and going after the money, and you want to negotiate with the Bengals and the Titans and the Carolina Panthers? Go ahead. Be out of the league at the end of the year. Or if you want to be in a position where you're going to be on nationally televised games, in games that actually matter, where other teams are going to be watching you, and a chance to build your equity back up in the league. That's what I'm selling you. Here's $3 million, no signing bonus. What do you say? No. Good luck. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with you, Jeff. Okay, yeah. Bringing Gardner Johnson back. Bring CJ in and let Reed go. No, you're missing it. Damon, you bring Gardner Johnson in to help Reed's play. Every time he's been back there, Reed's played well. I'm looking to have Makuba beat Gardner Johnson out by the end of the year, where I can cut him maybe by the end of the year. And Sydney's played better. That's the ultimate goal here. The ultimate goal here is not to keep Gardner Johnson for multiple years. He's a stopgap guy. He's a total stopgap. Get this. You see what that fucking dickhead Spike wrote? He's a cancer. That cancer delivered 2 Super Bowl appearances, 12 interceptions, and 2 NFC titles. If that's a cancer, give it to me. I'll die on the vine with that. That's your form of cancer? Hey, Spike, that cancer helped you win a Super Bowl and gets you to another one. Another dumb take by a dumbass guy who makes stupid offhand comments. Bro, you're not thinking right. Sidney Brown is a liability. Yes, the Texans are cutting him. Make his contract 100%. Nah, that's against collective bargaining. You can make the incentives that and put the signing bonus involved with that, with character stuff, but you can't do the base that way. Okay? See this guy here? This shows you here how fucking stupid he is. You're not allowed to re-sign people you traded and trade again. You can't trade for him. You can sign somebody if they've been released. Guy's a fucking idiot. This guy here, the guillotine was made for dudes like this. Texans are crazy to cut him. They're sitting at 0-3. CJ's an unrestricted free agent, buddy. I could see how he's saying it. Yes, absolutely. Would you not rather have No, he's better than him. Okay? No. That guy shows up over on my Twitter page acting like a hemorrhoid. And then he tries to come in here and act like a piece of shit. And he is. He goes on my Twitter page and posts all this bullshit. He's another one of those internet assassins who hides behind his internet, and he's probably a media dickhead somewhere around. That's what he is. Okay? So whatever, dude. You come in here, you're going to get your fucking head pushed in. I trust Howie. He got rid of the guy before he blew up the locker room. Strong pass on the problem. Yeah, that problem, once again, well, you don't have a better player than that guy. Post the truth? Fuck you. End of story with you, guy. Go somewhere else. We don't have nothing compared to him. That's right, Angelo. That's right. Contract continues if you claim him off waivers. Right. And if you don't, the contract goes away and he's up for the highest bidder. I'm changing my mind because of one fact. CJ is better than Sidney. Correct. That's right. The rule is they have to play 4 or more games with the team he's traded to before allowed to sign back to Eagles. BLG just posted it. Okay? Let's see here. Michael Jordan was the biggest dickhead teammate in professional sports history. And look what he did. Okay? Would anyone put a claim? I think somebody could put a claim for him. All right? Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out more here, okay? By the way, heading into the 4th week, he's one of the reasons why they cut him. Okay? So he's going into his 4th week. So let's see how this plays out. All right. Let's get to our topics here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. All right. Anthony Beck's going to join us. And that'll be at 3:30. We're going to talk some Buck football with him. Straight up, give me that poison. How you doing? Then at 4:30, we are going to talk with Mark Farzetta. And then Xander's going to clean up, and we will talk with him. All right. Tell me something here. Why did Nick Sirianni feel that it was in his best interest to answer the question whether or not Kevin Patullo was calling plays in the second half? Why was that important? Oh, we have our top 10 teams, and we also have our top 10 quarterbacks. Why do you think? Okay, why do you think he had to address that? He's a coach. A question was asked. You don't have to answer any question you're asked. Okay? No shit, it wasn't accurate. Guys, what and why did Nick Sirianni have to answer if Kevin Patullo called plays? Okay, why did he have to answer that? Sirianni was asked, and he basically said to ask Patullo and Jalen. Okay? That's a smart answer by the coach. I've seen Texas Boy. I haven't seen Texas Boy in a few days. Someone should check on him. Or they should have taken his laces and sheets, especially after that loss last week that they had. And they took it on the chin, right? Because Patullo was under fire and Sirianni was the one that upgraded his position. Correct. Because the plays look completely different. Here's my take. Nick Sirianni is having his authority questioned again on hiring of coaches. See this here? This is another stupid take. A head football coach doesn't have to answer any question asked to him. What do you think this is fucking under? What do you think? You're on a Senate hearing? Where perjury is like an issue here if you answer a fucking question wrong? This guy thinks you take that like you've taken an oath here, and that if you answer it, that they're going to arrest you for perjury. What a fucking dumb take. Because the guy asked him, hey, it's a stupid question, move on, let's go to the next one. This is not a Senate hearing. This is not a Senate hearing. This guy's a fucking idiot. Comes in here every day, and he just posts the dumbest shit I've ever seen. However, Xander and I love him because he keeps the algorithm up. And we appreciate him because this guy's like a fucking heartbeat. I mean, I got to tell you, I've never been stalked more by a woman, by a man, by anything. I've never seen it. And it's kind of creepy. But hey, he's from Canada. What the fuck do you expect? Yep, that was exactly what I thought. An attack on Patullo is essentially an attack on Sirianni. Right. That's an attack on his judgment on elevating him. That's exactly correct. Hopefully between Sirianni, Patullo, and Jalen can work something. Get this. Has there been a problem ever since Jalen Hurts has been the quarterback in Philly with Nick Sirianni? How do you think that relationship is? Would this be a fair comment? Do you think Nick Sirianni is more loyal to his coordinators than his quarterback? Do you? You think he's more loyal to his coaches? And the people that they bring in? Jalen Hurts questions sometimes? So wait a minute. Abe, you don't think Jalen questions some of these coordinators like Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo? And by the way, for the record, why does Nick hire inexperienced coordinators for him? Why does he hire? Nick's hires a coordinator. And by the way, Shane Steichen was a recommendation from Frank Reich. Do you think that's cool that Jalen, you think he trusts the fact that every time Nick makes a call, it's an inexperienced coordinator? KP adjusted. You don't ride the brake for the first few times and not fall off. Let's see more of if has a handle on our strengths now. So you're saying that you think they're going to change and do something different because of what they did in the second half of that Rams game? Twiz, they're not going to change in any way, shape, or form. This is a directive from the coach. That's Sirianni's influence. This is Sirianni's direction. And Kevin Patullo's the play caller. The best coordinator that the Eagles have signed for Jalen Hurts was Shane Steichen, not Kellen Moore. It was Shane. How many people agree with that? Even though Kellen Moore won the Super Bowl, who was better for Jalen Hurts? Shane Steichen or Kellen Moore? By the way, can you imagine if Shane Steichen had been with Jalen Hurts since 2022? What he would look like right now? He'd probably be the best quarterback in the NFL. And there would be no debate over statistics and shit. Look at what that guy's doing to Daniel. Daniel Jones is unrecognizable right now. I can't believe that's him. If you're the New York Giants, how is that not a horrible look? You got rid of Barkley. Then you turned around a guy who gave $150 million to, $49 million a year, and you cut him. You fucking cut him. I'm watching Daniel Jones. I'll give you, he's in my top 10 quarterbacks so far for 2025. It is an incredible reclamation project. The Colts have the best guard in football in Nelson. I've been saying that for 3 years. This guy's a pancake machine. Kellen Moore offense put up 145 in the playoffs. Kellen Moore did nothing when it came to developing a Jalen Hurts' passing game. Nothing. Without Patullo, we are still 3-0. Without Hurts, we're 0-3. Absolutely dead on. Get this. If Nick Sirianni's the play caller, you're still 3-0. That's right. You guys are too good. You're just not good in coaching on the offensive side. Ask yourself this. You're so good on offense. The only thing holding the Eagles back, and you bring in the same guys back every year. What's the difference? You've had 3 different coordinators with 3 different results. Brian Johnson was terrible. Kellen won a Super Bowl, and here you are now. There's 3 different guys. There's 3 different looks to the team. They look like 3 different teams. But the players are so good. Let me say, Xander brought something great when we were talking yesterday. We had our time. Do you think the team learned something about themselves? No, I don't. No, I do not. Maybe the defensive guys did because there's some younger players over there. Do you really think that guys who've been playing together for the last 6 years, almost every single guy, how long has Landon and Mulata and Lane played together? How many ups and downs have they gone through? The meltdown, Super Bowls. Think about this. Mulata, Hurts, AJ, Devontae, the entire O-line just about, Cam, Barkley not so much, but everybody in that huddle has seen the highs and the lows, right? What in the world, right? And 19-1. What do you think they learned yesterday or on Sunday? Nothing. Now, the defensive side, yeah. But are you going to try to tell me guys that have been through the ups and downs and playing football together with all the coordinators, all the stupid decisions and all the great decisions, those guys learned something? No way. It's another day at the office for them. They win games. Hey, get this. You know why you're 3-0? Because they do know who they are. If you didn't know who you are, you're 0-3. Those players know who they are, and that's why you're 3-0. They didn't learn anything from that Ram game. Now, the only guy in the building that I could think that may have learned something, as I said, was the coordinator. The hell would he know? What, because he sat at the dinner table? That guy's never called a fucking play in his life. How would he know shit? Players already know. Yeah, I saw they brought Watson back. He's not going to be in there for the tush push. That guy is so far away. The kid Watson from Florida, that's not why they brought him in. Todd's got a nice soft spot for him. And they want to see if he's a player. They want him to get under like 350 pounds or 375 or something. They want to see if there's something there to him. They brought him into training camp and then they whacked him and then they brought him back. He must have lost weight. And said if you get to a particular number, they'll put him on the practice squad. And that's exactly what they've done. So to bring him in for the tush push, he's a practice squad guy. They're not bringing him in for the tush push. I don't think they are. Birds averaged 25.7 points this year, ranked 8 sills. Kills our offensive coaches. Come on, facts. Okay. Folks, you see this right here? Those players are the only reason that you are attaining these wins. It ain't the coaching. You should be scoring 35 points a game with that talent on the field. Dude, if you don't think you have issues at coaching, your own fucking players are saying it. Arthur is not listening to his own players. I'm echoing their takes. Bro, I am echoing their takes. Not my take. They're echoing my take. They came out and fucking said it. But you don't believe them. So if they were in here talking about the coordinator, you'd be saying the same shit to him? Really? You would tell the players, hey, we're 8th. We're scoring 25-7. And you would tell them to shut the fuck up and sit down, right? Shane took 2 years to become what he is on the play calling. He also was in Indianapolis or with the Chargers, maybe, before he got to Philadelphia. He worked his way up for sure. Samuel, Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo averaging the same amount of points. And it looks as discombobulated as it did then. Rams aren't better than the Eagles. No, but they're right there. Took a miraculous play to beat them. They kicked your ass for 2.5 quarters, dude. What were you talking about? They ran the ball down your throat? And they kicked your ass for 2.5 quarters. And then conservative play calling fucking killed them. You make it sound like you were head and heels better than those guys. They beat the shit out of you. Hey, you're never going to hear that from anybody in Philly. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. They kicked your ass. You had 34 yards of total offense in the first half. They shut you down completely. Oh, we turned around and we did they still ran for 160 on you at 5 yards a clip. I mean, the defensive end, Vic said it today. The run game needs to improve better. We're not playing very good on the run right now. Oh, what? That's a lie, too. Let me guess. Seals, if you want the truth, look at Hurts's 4 years as a starter with Shane Steichen. Dude, from that, when he took over, I think they were 2-4 as the play caller, and they went on that run to get him into playoffs in 21, and then the 22 season. Shane was the best coordinator he's had. That's when he was playing his best. Vic gets full reign, but not Nick. They trust him. Well, they don't want to get in the way because they don't really have the coaching ability to be able to contradict them. Hey, Kim, tell me if you think this is true. The coaches in the organization want to control the money. And that's the offense, right? There's no money on defense. So they let Vic go over there and deal with that. Most of those players are draft picks from Howie, right? And pretty good ones. And the rest of them are one-year mercenaries. Reclamation projects like Bond, Dory Jackson. These guys are reclamation projects, right? There's not high-volume investment money-wise except for the draft picks. You know what's really fucking the whole system up? The D guys are playing better. And all of a sudden, you got to make decisions in money. Look at what the Eagles did. How about this? If Reed Blankenship had played on the offensive side, he'd have a contract extension. But because he plays defense, they're going to wait. Because they want to see where the money falls. Because now that Jordan Davis is playing better, does that money now get shifted to him instead of Reed? And Reed's a casualty. They play money ball over there. They don't play money ball on the offensive side. And that's why you have lesser experienced coaches on the offense. You hired a guy who was fired twice. And Kellen Moore. He's not going to have any pushback. Kellen Moore, if he didn't have that year he had a year ago, would have been fired again and out of the league as a coordinator and probably a position coach for the rest of his time in the NFL. At best. Now he's a head coach. Use the RPO with Jalen is basically done after the NFL cracked down on an eligible man downfield. Yeah, the 23 season, there was a shitload of those, remember? And the guy who was the biggest culprit in that was Landon Dickerson, believe it or not. How many times you see Landon down the field? I get the play calling doesn't look like and how people are used to seeing those other teams do, but we're not other teams. Dude, you can't play halves of football. Don't you want to have a clean game? How many people believe the Eagles have played a clean game this year? Honestly, how many people believe you've played a clean game? I don't. That's a good thing. You're 3-0. Okay? You're 3-0. You haven't played a clean game. You've got so much room for fucking greatness. Dude, that's the bitch here. It's not that you stink. Okay? I said 11. Sills, if you're the Giants, why would you start? I said it from day one, you should start this guy. Why not? You're not going anywhere. Find out who he is. They don't have anybody on the team. Well, Peyton Manning threw 28 picks his first year. as an Indianapolis Colt. They grew together as a unit. Sitting him back and fucking farting around, not knowing if he's the guy or not, I want to know. I want to know what I have. I want to know what I have to build around him. I want to know what his strengths and weaknesses are. Let me find out, like Philly did with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not going to be a consistent passer, okay? Let's get the best wide receivers we can find, and let's build the best offensive line we can find and get a running back for him. And then let the chips fall where they may. The sitting around of quarterbacks and putting them on the bench and doing, dude, Alex Smith won division titles in Kansas City. He was a good quarterback in Washington. Beating him out, I don't think it was they sat him down behind him. I don't think he was better than him in his rookie year. Was it that if Patrick Mahomes was better than Alex Smith his rookie year, he'd have started and he would have put him in. And he did the same shit with McNabb in Philly. He didn't start right away because there was a more experienced guy in the building and he knew how to play the position. Dude, you got to line guys up. You got to know where to go. Patrick Mahomes said he didn't even know how to read a playbook until he got to Andy Reid. Andy Reid's not going to put a guy in a game that doesn't know how to read a fucking playbook. That means you don't know how to line guys up or read defenses. You're going to put that guy in a game? Wide receivers are going to be wide open. You guys not going to know where to throw the ball. Sills, Hurts' best statistical year was 22. It's not just having Steichen. Hurts doesn't have repeat OCs even when he was in college. Okay, but here's the deal. The offensive coordinators that he had in college when he got to Lincoln Riley and when he got to Lincoln Riley and Norman, he was a runner-up to the Heisman. Got his team in the postseason. I mean, Lincoln Riley did a lot of good things for him when it came to knowing how to throw the ball and putting an offensive game plan together for him. So every time he's had good OCs, he's gone places. Same at Alabama. He was the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year. Okay, he was the SEC Player of the Year. Got all the way to the championship game. I mean, every time he's had a good offensive coordinator, he's excelled. It's his abilities that have failed him, but he's getting better at it. He's getting to be a better passer. He's still not very good in the pocket. We're going to talk to Anthony Beck and talk some Bucs football at the bottom of the hour. Then we'll have at 4:30, Farzetta will join us, and then we will have Xander, as Xander will wrap it all up for us here. Okay? Again, see this guy here? Not wrong. All this talk is pointless. We know what happens after September. Yeah, what's that? 23 or 24? Which one is it going to be? What do you think? All right, KJ. We all know what happens after September. Is it going to be 23 or 24? Because you've not been consistent in the last 4 years, so which is it? 21 was different than 22. 22 was different than 23. And 24 was different than 24. 24 was different than 23. So which is it? 25? So in other words, you don't know what's going to go on. That's why these are called talking points, my friend. Take a seat and sit back. Big Sills, NY Fishing Maniac, will be on at the top of the hour. Look at that. Might have to get this guy on one day. Fangio was an RDC in 23. No shit. What an epiphany. Tremendous knowledge. Wow. Breakthrough. Wouldn't you say Kellen Moore helped Hurts' development as a quarterback versus the blitz? 0. He took 51 sacks. He had 51 sacks last year. He was 6th in the league in sacks. Where do you think that's improvement? Where do you think? He had 51 sacks counting the playoffs a year ago. Where? Says, what's your take on Bosa's injury? He's always hurt. And that's not going to get better. Fangio was in the building in 22 and 24, Sills. And in 23, Fangio was the DC of the Miami Dolphins. It's very different than 23. That defense collapsed first, and then the offense did too, because, again, they were on the field too long, yes. If you remember right, though, Fangio was an offensive consultant and not a defensive consultant. They are both still hurt. Have you watched the games? Landon is banged up for sure. Not 100%. Lane's neck injury is not something to look past. We shall see. As a matter of fact, before I get on Anthony, let me go into that and let me give you a breakdown of Xander says it's a blowout this weekend. I do not. There's not a chance this is a blowout. I'll tell you why here in a minute. And then you tell me if you think I'm wrong. What do you guys think this game looks like? I'm not going to hold anybody to it. And this is preliminary talk here. What do you think this game looks like Sunday? What kind of score? What kind of score are we looking at? Like I said yesterday, Xander thinks they blow him out. What do you guys think? Here's the latest on Gardner Johnson. Gardner Johnson was released with friction behind the scenes with his complaining about his role, wanting to blitz more per league source, and even communicating that he wanted to be traded. It didn't work out for him here. MJ Stewart, next man up, expected. So Gardner Johnson complained about his role. Okay. Let me take a look at something here. Let's see here. Ken, let me see here. I want to look at something on the CBA. I'm checking out something on the CBA. Okay, here's the rule on the CBA. Yes, an NFL team can sign a player who they traded away and was cut by that acquiring team in the same year. But they must first waive the player and clear the NFL's waiver system, at which point the original team is free to sign him. BLG's absolutely wrong. How it works: trade the original team trades the player to another team. The acquiring team then cuts the player from their roster. Waivers. The player is placed on waivers, a process where all other NFL teams have a chance to claim him. It'll be Tennessee down. Re-signing. If no other team claims the player on waivers, the player becomes a free agent, can sign with any team, including the original team that traded them away. Key points. No retrade restriction. A team cannot trade for a player they traded away in the same year on trades. You can't trade for the player and then trade back in the same year. BLG's wrong. Okay? He's wrong. According to the collective bargaining agreement, that's not true. Okay? Got it right here. CBA. Yes, an NFL team can sign a player who they traded away and was then cut by that acquiring team in the same year. But they must first waive the player and clear the NFL's waiver system, at which point the original team is free to sign them if no other team claims them. There is no restriction preventing a team from reacquiring the player they previously traded away. But the team cannot trade for them again in the same year. Okay? There's no trade. He's waived. They can sign him once he's been and cleared waivers. Okay? Hey, Sills, Giants bench Russell Wilson. He's done in the NFL. You might have a chance with Sierra. Thank you. I don't think so, but hey, thank you for the the chances of me with that, because I admit to you, man, she's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, Sills, is it Super Bowl or Bucks? Is it Super Bowl or Bucks for the Eagles? I'm gonna go into the game here in a minute. He's got to clear waivers. He's got to clear waivers, right? No team can claim him, because then you can't. Once a team claims him, you can't call that team and then trade for him. You get it? BLG doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not true. You got a guy in the air talking shit, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about. It's not true. I just read you from the collective bargaining agreement. Think CJ gets grabbed in waivers? No, because of the money he's making now. What's his salary? I'll tell you if he's going to be picked up. Gardner Johnson, salary 2025. Now, his base salary is 1.1. Other compensations includes a restructured bonus of $7 million and a $500,000 incentive bonus. He signed a 3-year contract with the Philadelphia Eagles at $27 million, which comes in at around 8.5 per year. Nobody's picking that contract up, because you would have to pick the bonuses up, and you would have to pick the restructured payout way, and you would also have to pick out the incentive bonuses. I mean, $8.5 million for a guy who was bitching on the sidelines and bitching to his coaches. That's not going to happen. Do I think he clears waivers? Absolutely. Nobody's paying that guy $8 million and picking up those bonus incentives. Okay? Now, here's something else to think about. I'm not sure Gardner Johnson has to go on waivers. How many years has he been in the league? How many years has he been in the league? He's been in more than 3.5. So I don't believe he has to go through waivers, because he's a veteran, which means he gets to talk to any team he wants right now. So he's cleared. There's no waivers for him. He's just been cut. So any team right now, all 31 teams except for the Texans, who just whacked him, he has the ability, because that only applies really to first-year and first-time NFL guys. You have to play past 4 years, is it, or 3.5? And inside that 3.5, if you're released, you have to go on waivers. And if you're a veteran guy, you don't have to go on waivers. Yes, he's a vested player. No, he's not right, because he's saying that the Eagles can't go back for him. Wrong. His agent and Eagles have had already talked before all this was going down. Maybe. Seals, is there anyone you think the Eagles should aggressively pursue at the cornerback position to solidify the starters. No. You're going to hang with what you have right now. Nobody's going to go with the Eagles to try to help them become a better team at the corner position. Sills is a big fraud. In what way, guy? Reading you from the collective bargaining group and the CBA? I got it right here in front of me. And now that he's not a vested player, he's been released. He gets to negotiate with anybody. And Steven, again, guy, thank you, I guess. Because I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Let's see here. Hey, like I said, Anthony Beck's going to join us here in a minute. Okay. So let me ask you guys, what do you think this game is? You think it's close? Or do you think it's like Xander said, a blowout? Anthony Beck's going to join me in a couple minutes. Might not want to break into this here. How many people believe this game is close? 28-24. Okay? Dude, this guy's calling me a motherfucker a lot lately, the last 2 days, man, huh? He told me, fuck you yesterday, now I'm a motherfucker. Holy cow. All right. Hey. I got it. Hey. Okay. I know Big Sills is just easy here. All right. He hasn't given a prediction yet. I thought I did hear yesterday say that it wasn't going to be close. But hey, all right. How many people think this is going to be close? Here's where I'll go. Sills, how many more losses before Dolphins start firing coaches and putting players on a trade block? Probably look at their bye. That's what I would do. Here's why I think this game's going to be close. You guys haven't run the ball very well, have you? And if you can't run the ball against Vita Vea and that Bucs defense, you're going to have to go to the strength of the football team. That's their secondary. With Antonio Winfield. The kid Dean had a pick six, albeit against a shitty Jets team. See, I can't figure out one thing about the Bucs yet. Are they contenders or pretenders? You beat Atlanta. You beat who else? You beat Atlanta, the Texans, and you beat a shitty Jets team. I can't tell what they are, but they've won 3 games in a row. So I'm with some of you here. I don't know what they are. So I'm not going to sit here and blow sunshine up the Buccaneers' ass here because I really don't know what they are. I think both teams heading into this weekend could both be 0-3. But because of the resiliency of these two teams and the quarterback play, they're 3-0, and they got good players on their roster. I don't think the Eagles' offensive line, I think the best offensive line in football is in Detroit right now. They ran for 233 against that Ravens defense. I mean, let's be candid here. The Cowboy defense is not that good. I saw 450 yards put up on the Cowboy defense just in the passing game by the Giants. Your run game, even the coordinator mentioned it today, is not very good yet. Will it get better? I think yes. I think this game is going to come down to our edge rushers. And I think that's a great take. Your edge rushers, I thought, played poorly in that game on Sunday. They got knocked off the football. And I said this too. Hassan Reddick. It's time for that guy. I said it this morning. That guy's got to fucking show up, man. They got to get pressure on Hurts. Keep him bottled in. And if they don't, Hurts is going to move the sticks on you, man. And I think they're good in the secondary, the Buccaneers. But I don't think they're better and good enough to stop A.J. Brown. So they're going to have to get pressure, stop the run, if they're going to make this a fourth quarter football game. On the other hand, your pass rush has not been very good. The Buccaneer offensive line, they're getting Tristan Wirfs back. It makes them more complete, but not completely because they lose Mock and they lose Gedeke. And I think that they have given up some pressure in the offensive line. And I think that's why Mayfield's had to move more and be more mobile. I think Baker Mayfield's played great football and kept his football team 3-0. He's got no turnovers in the games. And that's the big thing I had about him. He had 41 touchdowns a year ago. Had like 15 or 16 picks, which led the NFL. He can't have that. I'd rather have Hurts' stat line on the touchdown pass and also on the interceptions. I'd rather have that. So, look, I think Mayfield's played great football. I really do. By the way, again, we heard the news this morning, and Armando Salguero on my Tampa show, he was the guy that broke the news there with some of the national guys. They started getting, I guess they're on these, like, it's crazy that Ian Rappaport and some of the other guys, the big guys, I guess they get these text messages because I heard it. It pinged. And as soon as that happened, all the other two guys started posting it, and Armando posted it and told me right there on the show that Mike Evans would be lost 2 to 3 weeks with his hamstring injury. Now, he's had a chronic hamstring injury for his entire career. So he's gone, but they're looking like they're going to get Chris Godwin back. And if they get Tristan Wirfs back, I think he's the 6th best football player in the league. He's not just the 6th best or the best offensive tackle in football. I think he's the 6th best player in the NFL. He's just a great player. So I'm going to talk some Bucks with my friend. He thought he was going on the Tampa show, but I said, no. You're going into Philly, baby. And we're going into Philly. By the way, his kid is kicking ass. And I have a Heisman vote. I have an All-American vote. And I have a vote in the top 25. And every time I see my boy Anthony Beck type away on his kid, Iowa State's playing some great football right now. We're going to talk some college here a little bit. And also this game coming up, Eagles and Bucks, both 3-0 at Raymond James. That'll be Sunday. He works in the UFL with my boy Rock with the St. Louis team, and the St. Louis team is absolutely one of the best teams in the league. He is my friend, former NFL veteran, Anthony Beck. He joins us now here on the program. How you doing, brother?
All is good, Dan. It's good to be on, brother. How are you?
You tell me, man. That kid's kicking ass years, huh? Got to be awful proud of him.
Yeah, it's been a great, really surreal for me and my wife to watch his journey. He's a redshirt junior. He's in his 3rd year starting at Iowa State, Power 4 school, and they're doing well. I mean, Matt Campbell's a fantastic coach. They're winning a lot of games, and they continue to win this year. And again, man, it's always the same adage. There's a lot of the big name, the blue blood schools, and they may not get the recognition they deserve or what they've done, but man, they show up every week. They know how to win, and they got a good leader at the quarterback position. So I'm just really proud of him, man. I love watching him. I'm a fan and a dad in the stands. That's all I can do, right, when he's playing. So it's been fun to watch.
Isn't it wild? My kid is now playing professional rugby. My daughter plays pro rugby now, and I'm sitting in the stands, and all I watch is the clock, praying that the clock goes down so that she doesn't get hurt because she's out there playing. I'm watching this. My wife looks over at me, and she goes, "This must be wild for you, watching your kid play and watching the success that she's having playing professional." I go, "It's so wild watching somebody excel." Is it? I mean, Anthony, you and me, man, I mean, all that stuff, man, we're old men now. You got to YouTube our stuff, right? So my kid now, she goes, "Yeah, my dad was good. Let's YouTube him." And I'm going like, okay, what is that? A kind of a backhanded slap, but isn't it great watching your kid though, man?
Yeah, it's funny. I played the NFL, former 1st-round draft pick, played 12 years. I'm the head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks. I'm one of the voices for the Jets radio broadcast, but everybody calls me Rocco's dad. That's kind of what I am right now.
I'm Dede's dad. That's what it is.
I'm good with that, Dan. I had my moment. I'm fine. Like, I don't need anything. I'm about as selfless as you can be right now in my life. Like, I love it for my kid, and he's good, man. Like, you've obviously got to see him in person, and but he is, he's talented, man. And it's going to be fun to watch him as his career goes on.
Absolutely. So you are part of the broadcast team for the Jets. You live in the Tampa area. You did a lot of work with the Buccaneers broadcast team. So I think you're perfect to hit on here then with this, because you saw that Bucs team this past weekend, and it's Bucs and Eagles this weekend. We're based in Philly here. Let me start with Baker Mayfield. Have you ever seen a better reclamation project in your life where a guy was thrown out of places and all of a sudden now he's playing MVP football, Anthony? I mean, this kid, I can't believe it. He has no picks, which is something that I harped on with him. I mean, in these last second drives he's leading, it's an incredible story going on in Tampa with him.
Yeah, when he first came out, and listen, I got hammered by Oklahoma fans for this, but I didn't think he was a guy that was a clear-cut first-round guy, and it wasn't because of his game or anything. There was a maturity level there that I just felt like he wasn't ready for it. And then obviously with that tied into being the number one pick, going to arguably the worst team in football, that's not a good combination for success. What I will say now is he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. You talk about a guy that's an ultimate leader. When he steps in the huddle, guys play for him. They play hard for him. And when the game's on the line and he has the ball at the end, guess what they all think when they're in the huddle with him? He's going to get it done for me. That's where you're at with this guy. So, I just think whatever you want to call a reclamation project or, had to humble, whatever, the guy's a dude. And, man, he made a couple plays, honestly, with his legs in that game as well that were really impressive. But, man, he's just such a competitor, man. Like, when you got guys that believe in you and want to go to war with you, like that changes your mentality. And they had 3 legit starting offensive linemen down. Like you would have thought going against the Jets, that would have been a problem. And it was. They had about 10 holding calls, but they overcame it. And he's a big reason why.
What's your take on Jalen Hurts? I could talk to 10 people and there's 10 different views on Jalen Hurts. I mean, look at, a year ago, there was 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns. And yet here he is. He's 19-1 over the last 20 ball games, which is insane. What's your takeaway as a head coach, as a guy who has a son who plays the position too, and a guy who you see the winning, but you don't see the numbers, but you see the clutch time play every time he makes plays? How do you look at Jalen Hurts?
I mean, he's been unbelievable. People don't understand how hard it is to win games in the professional level, man. Like, especially in the NFL, like, come on, you're talking about anything can change the game. A tip pass, a bobbled catch goes into somebody else's arms and it's an interception. Like, I just feel like for him, man, he could care less about anything else except how do I make this game plan? How do I build around it? And how do I not make the key mistakes? And when the moment comes, make sure that I'm effective enough to help my team win. And I think I give credit to Nick Sirianni because, I'll bet you initially he may not or may have been on board with the skill set that he had. There was some work that needed to be done, but he's built it around what his quarterback can do with his football team. He got a great running back that helps and makes it. They are a great team. And in order to have a great team, you have to have a great quarterback to manage the football game. And that's what he does. You can be mad at that. You can be pissed off. You don't see 4,000 yards a season or 30 touchdown passes. And I get it, man. Like guys like AJ Brown and Smith and they want their touches and they want to be, and you hear them because they're not complaining, but they're like, man, I just know we can do more if I can get touches. And they have every right to think that, but man, like it's enough for them to win. And, look, should they have won that game against the Rams? Probably not, but they know how to win and find themselves in situations to overcome when things aren't going their way and they get by because they're coached well. They have a great staff, number one, staff, right? He's got really good coaches around them and players that just understand their role. And can they do more? Absolutely. But Jalen does enough for them to manage the football game and get it done. And he makes plays when they're needed. So takes care of the football. And, man, you don't turn the ball over, play good defense. You know what you're going to do? You're going to win a lot of games. And that's what they do, man. So you judge what you want. I think he's a great quarterback for what they do.
Let me put this here. And you build coaching staffs now, obviously. So I heard Tom Brady the other day. And I had never thought of this process. But, we always come out with these quarterback rankings. We always come out with these top 10 lists of who the quarterbacks are. You know what Brady's he goes, have you ever put a top 10 list of coordinators together? And, the talk show host goes, no. And he goes, well, wait a minute. So you want to give a guy like Jalen Hurts, a first-year guy who's never called plays in his life, and Kevin Patullo, you as a coach, how hard is that to match up where You've got to have experience for that guy. And the guy that's not been a play caller, how much of a factor is that? Am I wrong, Anthony? I don't want a training wheels coach with the reigning Super Bowl MVP. I want a guy, just because he's been at the dinner table, that doesn't mean you should elevate the guy. They passed him over twice for Kellen Moore and for Brian Johnson. He was in the building then. What makes him better now?
You know what, man? Like, the coaching industry and the players in this generation are different, right? They want guys that obviously have credibility. They know the game, they're well prepared, and they get their players prepared, but they give and feed their players with belief. They understand how to communicate, and they used to call it players coach. There's nothing wrong with the relationships with your players from a coach, but you still have to hold them accountable. You can still be a Nick Saban or Bill Belichick, but you got to do it differently, right? Like, you can still have the demands of everything you want to do, but you do it differently. You have to adapt. Those things, like when I played and Bill Parcells was the GM at the Jets, those times were different. Like, there was only really one style. That was really all that there wasn't, maybe Dick Vermeil was a guy that was, a player-led kind of guy, but, had a lot of success. But ultimately, can you do both? Can you hold guys to a certain standard? Can they do they believe and trust in you because there's a credibility you bring? Like, there's a lot of former players, DeMarco Ryan, and guys that played the game at a high level, but they know how to communicate with the players and get the most out of Nick Sirianni. That's what these guys do. Dan Quinn, another example, right? Like, you look at what he's done in Washington, that's all you hear about. But man, Dan's a great coach. He's a smart coach. And Brady was great. I heard some of the things Brady was talking about, just, how he would just, the head coach would, Belichick would sit with him and they go through it and just talk about defenses. You got it. Like, that's got to be done. Now, whether that's the head coach, the coordinator, whatever. I mean, Bill Belichick, obviously one of the great defensive coordinators also, but when you have that kind of knowledge and you're trying to groom a quarterback, why wouldn't you not sit in there and go through those things, or have your defensive coordinator go through those things so you can have the optimal success? Because clearly the development of quarterbacks is a lot harder than it ever was. And from when guys come to college into the pros. So, man, you got to have a healthy mix of strong-minded coaches, but they understand the perspective and the relationship part of it so that they get guys to believe them. And if they do, they'll run through a wall for them. And that's where you get the success in a lot of these guys that have success in the league right now.
How surprised have you been with the evolution of the tight end position? I'm friends with Mark Bavaro. Mark Bavaro goes like this: I don't recognize the position anymore. That's old man, get off my lawn, Anthony. You go out there, you're lucky if you get 5 targets a game. You're part of the offensive line. You're like the 6th offensive line guy. Now that's different. Every big-time contending team has a pass-catching tight end that can make plays. We saw it with Laporta last night. You've got Andrews in Baltimore as well. The Eagles have one in Dallas Goedert. But, I mean, have you been surprised with the evolution of that position? Because if you don't have a great tight end that can move the sticks, you can't just win Super Bowls, I don't think, any longer at the perimeter and on the numbers. You have to have a guy that threatens the middle of the field.
I love Laporta, first off. And
is he not spectacular, man?
And to add to the conversation, I think he's a hell of a blocker. I mean, he did some things in the blocking side. He's a kind of a dying breed of a guy that can do everything at a really good level. So, listen, man, the athleticism, the skill set, how they're being used in college, they're just matchup problems, right? Like linebackers, safeties, the height difference, the weight, but the speed and the weight now. That combination, you don't have 6'5", 4 linebackers that can run like these kind of guys do in their routes. But man, like, they're difference makers and they're big targets. They're easy to get to. You don't have to hit them right in the perfect spot every time. They can contort their body and do things. I mean, you're right. It is a special position right now. And then you got your one-offs like Travis Kelce, guys that, maybe just traditionally are the pure pass catching tight ends. But man, they're just, they're problems in the perimeter. They're problems in space. You put them out in the split in the slot. You split them all the way out and let them go one-on-one in the red zone. Like, it's fun to watch. And I think ultimately it's changed the way defenses have to play because it takes away from, You can't just put speed guys out there anymore, right? That was like the new thing. Like put some more. You need hybrid guys. You need bigger body guys, safeties that are hybrids, linebacker types, like that have the athleticism to match up. But even there, it's still a disruption and a problem. So I love the way it's gone. You're right. There's a lot of really gifted tight ends. There's some out there that aren't getting the recognition they deserve, like Johnson and with the Saints. Like these guys do different things and that where they're just problems. And quarterbacks, if they're smart, they find them because it only opens up for the receivers. Because now you can't bracket receivers as much anymore when you got that elite kind of big-bodied slot playing in the game.
All right, what do you see Sunday? It's going to be hot. By the way, I'm gonna say this is the stupidest coaching thing I've heard Nick Sirianni say, and this is this. Well, we're gonna get down there to Tampa day before, get acclimated to the heat, and this just in, Sunshine, you don't get acclimated to the heat in one day. That ain't gonna work, man. I mean, if you ain't got it figured out, you ain't in shape right now. It took me, Anthony, a year and a half when I got down to Miami, University of Miami, to play. I called my grandfather up. I swear, first week I was in Miami, I remember we're going through Jimmy's practices. I called my grandfather up. I go, I want to come home, man. There's no way I can get out of bed. He goes, you come home, you go in the Army. I was like, oh my God. And so I'm like, all right. It took me a year. And I remember those Notre Dame guys coming down to play us. And I'm looking, I go, pretty hot, huh, Hoss? He goes, man, I was out of gas and warm-ups. And I'm like, yeah. So you've got that dynamic. It's a great home field for the Bucs, because last year I thought the Bucs ran them back into the bus. They're hurt in the O-line are the Buccaneers. The Eagles just haven't run the ball well, though. I mean, they had 34 net yards in the first half against the Rams, and then they had I think it was -3 in the passing game. The Rams ran for 160. Teams are running for about 125 to 28 yards a game on them. I don't know, man. I mean, what do you see this game on Sunday, Eagles and Bucs?
Yeah, well, a couple points you made there. Number one, as a head coach, you talk about preparation for heat and the environment. Man, that's a big thing for me, to my players, and also for me as a player, especially on the back end. Like the hydration part, the things that you put in your body, it has to happen a little bit more at the beginning of the week, and you have to do a little bit more to prepare just to get there. Like if you start getting crazy on Thursday, that's too late, right? And you talk about players now with quick twitch muscles and less body fat, and the movement that they make, man, it's critical. And even in the Jets-Bucs game, it was like you could see that. And what the Bucs do to their advantage, because they practice it every day, is they want a lot of tempo in that game, right? They're trying to get up to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to make you tired, and it will. I mean, you're not practicing in that kind of weather, in Philly or in New York. So that's a critical thing. But listen, what's the best aspect about Philly last year was Saquon, the run game. You got to take something away. Like, you want Jalen Hurts to beat you, or do you want Barkley to just run for 160 yards against you? So how do you want to go about that? So, listen, Jalen Hurts, again, his numbers aren't really there, right? But he's effective. But, I mean, small, tight window throws are a lot harder to get completed and get accomplished than maybe loosening up the box and trying to cover the pass versus letting Saquon do his thing. So, I just think you're probably seeing a little bit more heavy boxes. And it will happen because once Jalen makes some of them throws and they make some of them, they can't play both, right? You try to be strategic on what you do, maybe early downs, but that's what makes them dangerous right now, those, because, they got a great defense. They got other aspects where they can beat you all the way through. I do say this, like the Buccaneers, there is a problem when you don't have 3 starting offensive linemen play. Yeah. So they had about 10 holding calls, Dan, and most of them were on third downs. And
14 penalties total.
Yeah, most of them were offensive lineman holds. So, the Jets were getting there. They were just grabbing the crap out of them, right? So they were in a lot of third and longs, and, they were just able to make some plays because there were some penalties on the other end. But, against the Eagles, they're going to have a pretty good pass rush, too. They got some dudes. They're bad matchups, especially interior with the Eagles defensively. So, again, special quarterbacks like Baker, they find ways to get through it. But when you're talking about the Eagles, man, going against the Bucs, Todd Bowles is one of the best defensive coordinators in football as a head coach as well. And, he posed some problems with a lot of pressure to the backside of Tyrod Taylor, and
beating them twice in a row too. By the way, I mean 2 games in a row they've beaten them.
Yeah, they schemed them up really well, and they were able to get there. Now they gave up, and it was a great game at the end because the Jets were able to kind of put something together because they started going tempo and things of that nature, and they had a great special teams play. But look, that Mike Evans, he had a hamstring. He didn't come. I don't know, like what's his status? If he's
2 to 3 weeks, play, he's out. He's out in the game.
Yeah, so that's a problem because you kind of throw it to Mike and he makes a play, right? That's kind of his deal. So not having that's not great, but Baker's a competitor, so it's going to be a good game. You're right. Like they haven't had a lot of luck in Tampa, and look, Todd will have them ready to go. It should be a great matchup.
I want to ask you a couple more questions here. As a coaching philosophy, you know what I'm seeing, what they're doing to the Eagles, and you tell me if this is becoming more of a trend because I looked it up. And blitzing is up more on first and second down than ever before in the league. If you've got a really great run game like the Eagles do, and you want to put a game plan together, Anthony, that you want to have Hurts beat you, do you flood the run lanes more with first and second down blitzes? Because that's a way for you to get into those gaps. Because I'm seeing a lot of teams to stop Barkley. They're not just putting a tight box in there. They're blitzing a lot more in the middle in there in those run lanes, and it's creating really very little space for them to be able to get him open and get him going like he did a year ago. So is that something that, Todd will do? Because they bring a lot of pressure on him and he gets home. Todd Bowles gets home against the Philadelphia Eagles. So is that something that you're probably going to see in this game too, flooding the lanes?
Yeah, they didn't bring a lot of pressure on early downs. They're gonna sugar their backers up on the line of scrimmage a ton. What they do that makes it difficult. So when you pressure, the things that makes it difficult, because there's no new pressures out there, right? Like they've all been, someone's put them all on tape. But is a guy's hand down? Is a linebacker on the outside? And is he got his hand down? Do they shift guys over? So when you start changing what the position looks like that they play, that sometimes confuses linemen and backs, and then you get the safety involved. It's like, all right, we're going to push to this guy, but he's on the line with his hand down. Is he a defensive line? And look, you're going to draw those cards up. They showed a lot of it last week versus the Jets, but then they're going to reconfigure it differently, right? So again, in that short amount of time, there's a lot of less stress and pressure for the defensive lineman to line up and do certain things than it is to get the communication across 5 to 6 different people so that it's picked up. And if you're short one, is the quarterback and the receiver on the same page. And again, you're talking about 5-6 seconds to get that all down once you get up to the line of scrimmage, the play clock's where it's at. So again, those are the conundrums that Todd puts you in. And he showed a lot he didn't show the first 2 games versus the Jets. And again, but their mainstay is this: sugar the backers up. All right, they pull them out. 1 comes, 2 comes, 2 pull out. A safety comes. They drop Vita Vea one. I mean, like, that's what they do. So he trusts this guy. You got to have a lot of trust in your players to do that. Not all teams can get that done. Tampa can. So they're going to find a way to shake it up. And again, look, if you disrupt Hurts, disrupt him, clearly he can get out of the pocket and do things. And one thing I'd say on rundown blitzes is you got to be careful about is, again, for the defensive standpoint now, what their problem is if one guy's not in the gap properly or 2 guys get knocked into the same gap, you know who's going to find the opening? A guy like Saquon Barkley. And that's where you get gassed because the second level's not home to make those tackles. So average backs that maybe don't digest the fronts as well, it may be advantageous to do it. But with Saquon now, you better not have a guy get blocked or pushed into a certain gap and he's not supposed to be there, because Saquon's going to find it, and he's going to get through it, and he's going to gash you for big gains.
Do you agree that when you go into a game plan and you're sitting down with your coaches, do you do this? I can't have Barkley beat me because I'd rather have Hurts in the passing game beat me, and here's why. You know this better than anything, Anthony. When you're getting run over, it's a white flag. There's nothing you can do. You got one hand tied behind your back. You're just getting smoked. When you let the quarterback in the passing game, I'd rather take my chances with a guy who's kind of suspect in the pocket. He took 51 sacks last year, and he has problems, in my opinion, by feeling the pressure because Todd, every time he brings it, he does, as I said, gets home. So to me, I got to stop Barkley in this game. No, Do you think like that? Or do you think more generically where we need to make sure we don't let this guy get this amount of number? We got to make sure we go here. Is there one way you look at it that you want to take them and make them one-dimensional?
I just think you got to be strategic with it. I mean, they as much as you think like, hey, let Jalen Hurts beat you, they do have dudes out there that can make really good catches.
A.J. Brown is insane.
Yeah, and it's like, and even if you get these one-on-one, like, even if Jalen throws it up, it's very difficult to cover guys in this era. Like, there's a lot of flags. Like, I mean, you get handsy a little bit, they're going to call it. So, and AJ's very smart at what he does. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I think you're strategic. You clearly, if you're going to play the Eagles, you clearly want to take away what their dominant strength is, and it's running the football. You don't want them winning on first down. And, if you're the Eagles, you're thinking, all right, well, everybody thinks that and wants to do that. What's our counter, right? Like, how do we do it? And, hey, is it quick pass game? Is it things that look, aren't runs, but are similar to runs? Like, how do you space out the box? How do you widen people out? Maybe you don't bring, you don't use too tight. Maybe we get a guy extended. So how do you open up the box? And now, there's a lot of RPOs with Jalen Hurts, right? He does a lot of that too, where he, holds it in there, or he can go, or he holds it in there and the backer comes in and he throws it over their head for a slant or whatever route, they're going to run. So, those are the counters that you deal with the Bucs. I mean, if you got your hots in place and you're prepared for certain things, man, like now the blitzes aren't great because, there are some big plays to be made on blitzes too, right? Like, yeah. If you don't get home, we're assuming they'll get home because they get home a lot. But if you don't, and you got a good plan, and those guys are smart in Philly, like they're going to have a plan, right? You can get gashed, right? So that's kind of the alternate perspective from it. But I think it's a great matchup. It's a chess game, man. And you got great players that are trying to implement the plan of chess. And hopefully one team's not playing checkers when they're getting chess moves, right? And that'll be the fun part about watching this game.
What do you think of the tush push?
Yeah. Listen, I think about player health, number one. Like, man, I don't know if I'm a center or guard, like, do I really want to like grind my face and neck into this thing? And, I don't know. Like, I never hear any of those guys. I dear hit the new center, Cam. I forget his name.
Cam Jurgens.
Yeah, he's just like, man, like, it's, I worry about, you got to dive in there. I will say this, though, like, misaligning, leaving early, even the defense kind of crossing, like, they got to call that stuff, like, because it is hard. Like, and look, every team can do the push. I don't know why teams don't do it. It's hard to practice, number one. I think the Saints do it because obviously Kellen Moore knows how to set up. But I talk to my coordinators all the time. Why aren't we doing the tush push? Like, why don't we have all these guys getting ready to squeeze and pinch in, get low, and just road grade them from the knee? Even if they jump over the pile, they're getting moved, right?
Yeah,
like,
getting moved.
It's unstoppable. As long as it's legal, I'm cool with it. But I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. Like, I'm still yelling at my guys why we don't do it. We didn't do it last year. Maybe I got to put my hand down a little bit more. Like, running the traditional QB sneak is terrible. Like, it doesn't work. But that is freaking amazing. And it does look like a cheat code, but it's only a cheat code because nobody wants to, like, practice it, I guess. Like, I don't know, man. They got so much experience with it right now. It's easier for them to do. It's kind of hard for teams to just start figuring it out because they're not going to be able to show a look of it in practice because they don't want to get hurt. And they don't want to cut their own guys. So I don't know how the Eagles just did it through a process of repetitions every game, and it just worked out in their favor, and now it can't be stopped. Or I don't know, if a team starts doing it now, it's hard to practice it in season. Nobody wants to put pads on them and practice that play.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Can you imagine starting every series out, 1st and 9? I mean, you're starting every series out 1st and 9. I had Jackie Slater on, and I asked him what he thought. He goes, it's brilliant. He goes, my problem with it is, he's like, so you can't stop it. You have to legislate it out. And for me and you being football players, I mean, Anthony, I don't want to have any play legislated out because you can't stop it. I mean, especially me being a defensive guy, man, I don't like that, man. I mean, hey, so we can't stop it. Oh, so the Rich McKay's going to come in and legislate it out of the league. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like my manhood's been tested on that one there.
Yeah, they shouldn't get rid of it, but they definitely have to make sure it's ran properly because when you line up quick, you come out of the huddle and they want to do it fast. Like, guys sometimes aren't lined up properly, and that's a lot of pressure on the officials too, like to
Yeah.
look at that quickly and make that from a distance. So there's a serious advantage to doing it, but anybody can do it. Like, why aren't more teams doing it? That's the question. That's what everybody should be saying. It's not why let's stop the Eagles. Every team can have this same dominance at doing the same thing, but they choose not to for whatever reason, including me. So I don't know why. That'll be my first topic of discussion for short yardage for my staff this year for sure.
Well, I want to tell you something who I had on today. So I had Rob Higgins on today.
Love Rob, man.
I had him on. Well, no, listen here. When I said I brought your name up.
Oh, okay.
I said this. I go like this. I go, listen here, man. I go, Alex Golesh is not going to be your head coach at the end of the year. He goes, how do you know that? I go, trust me. He's not going to be. He's going to be either Ole Miss because Ole Miss is going to take Lane over to Florida, or something's going to happen. You know, the coaching cycle. I go, I got a guy who lives in Tampa. You don't have to pay moving expenses. He lives right there for you. Well, then again, I think he's over in the Palm Harbor side, so you might have to get a moving van to move him over closer to the school. His name is Anthony Beck. He goes, I love Anthony Beck. And I go, listen, you see the job he's done? He goes, yeah. I said, listen here, man. So I threw your name out, and he goes, I'm a big St. Louis fan with the UFL. And I go, well, make sure you keep an eye on that. So I threw your name around there, but you better have a good year this year, man, because I think you're up and coming here, and I think you're going to land somewhere. I mean, listen, I know you love what you're doing, and you're all about where your feet are. So I'm
100%.
Not dismissing the job you're doing right now, but I think college football coaching is something you want to get into, man.
I do. Listen, without the UFL, nobody even knows about what I can do or my capabilities of doing as a coach. And I take it really seriously because, quite frankly, Dan, like there was hundreds of other applicants that had better resumes, more qualified than I was to be a head coach in the UFL. And they took a chance because I sold a vision, and I've lived up to that. Like I live it every day. I'm an ambassador for the league, number one. I do it all the time for that because it's important to me. But I've learned how to win. I've learned how to build rosters with less resources, with less staff. And I'm all in every day. Like I'm trying, I want to win a championship in that league. And maybe that's what I need or missing. But we've won. We've had the best record in the regular season last year. We won 73% of my games. And for me, I love college football. I'll coach anywhere, but I want to be a college head coach. And I love what I'm doing now. It allows me to see my son play and all these things in my life that are great. And I love, we got a new owner in the league, Mike Rapoli, who I'm excited and fired up about what he does. And I love Rob Higgins. And I'll tell you this, I saw Alex Golesh at the Bucs game, went up to him, shook his hand. Man, he's doing a freaking awesome job. I think he's a legit dude. And let's be honest, man, like, he's going to be, if he continues to trend where he's trending, it's going to be hard to turn down those things. And USF will try to keep him. But honestly, this is what these coaches, it's not too much personal.
Resources.
They have goals. But man, if that ever came up, I promise you this, it would be the only job I'd ever have because, that place is building a new stadium. I live here. I've been here for 20 years. How about let's not be a stepping stone school because USF is a great place to coach. Everybody wants to coach there. But man, it's a stepping stone place because if you win, guess what? You're not going anywhere. Rob Higgins is a guy that is Tampa. That's his lifeline, right? And all I hear him saying is like, man, he wants consistent leadership. He wants, and that's awesome. And that's what they need. And he's going to do awesome. But man, like you talk about, if you want to build something, you can find a guy that can stay there and want to be there and just continue to build with the environment and the fan base. And I know a lot of people in Tampa, that. I mean, I've been here for 20 years, man. Like it would be really cool. But man, Alex is awesome. He knows my son. He watches. I mean, like he has been phenomenal for that program. It's an excellent hire by Michael Kelly, who was there prior. And man, I'm excited for Rob. I'm excited for Alex. So we'll see what happens down the road, man. But I appreciate that. Hey, maybe I should hire you as my additional agent because that may come to fruition down the road if I need it. Okay,
I'll tell you what here, man. I brought it up because one of my dearest friends and one of my closest friends was Leroy Selman. And Leroy built the athletic department, and he used to come into my show all the time when I was on DAE, and he was selling USF. I only have one shirt outside of Miami Hurricane stuff, and it's USF because he gave it to me. I think they were in the Big East at the time.
You got some Fleet stuff now. I know you got.
Oh,
Fleet
I do. I have the hat. I have the hat and some shirts that
I'm going to get you.
you.
Like, I know John Gruden's getting all the care packages. I'm going to get you a care package of the Battlehawk stuff.
Oh my God, I want that. I would love to have that there. By the way, real quick, how's that coming? If you guys started having conversations, when do you start getting ready for the season next year, UFL? I mean, like you said, you got a new owner coming in there with rocking the guys and with Fox and everybody. How's that looking?
Oh, I haven't spoken to Mike Rapoli yet. I can't wait to. I mean, this is a guy that just fires me up. He's a billionaire. The guy's building brands. Everything he touches turns to gold. And he's tweeting and putting stuff. I mean, I love it, man. Like, the guy's awesome. And, I can't wait to have a conversation with him. When that happens, it happens. Right now, all the coaches are not under contract. So, technically I'm working on a draft, getting ready for all this stuff. And I'm not under contract. So, it's going to happen. Obviously, they all want me back, our team's back, but there is going to be some changes. Everything's heading the right direction. You know this better than anybody. These leagues have folded quick as anything. And we've been around now for a long time. It's my third year doing it. From top to bottom, people are genuinely, they care about this league. They want it to work. And they're all fighting to make sure they do and make the decisions that are right to get it. I love it. No one's a bigger advocate for it. Players need this league. We have an excellent platform on ESPN, Fox, ABC. It's crazy that with these players and coaches and officials, all the stuff that they get. And man, I just want to help it grow. So I can't wait to see. I'm hearing all different things like you're hearing, maybe new locations, team, all that stuff. Like, I know this. St. Louis will be back. It's the best market, the best fan base. That's not going anywhere. And I'm just proud to be the coach of it. So that's where we're at with that.
Well, you see the Thunderbolt helmet up there? That's the old Orlando Thunder from the NFL Europe. And it got me a job with the Lions. I mean, so like you said, I mean, it's a platform. I'm a big component of having spring football because look, there's so many good football players out there. They just need opportunities to get a chance to go in there. Look at Kurt Warner. He's one of the greatest examples of that. You give somebody an opportunity, you just never know. Anthony, we'll catch up again, man. And by the way, I tweeted at your son once, and I said, I better not. So I tweeted at him once because I said this. I go, and I DM'd him. I go, listen here, man. I have a vote for the All-American team. Walter Camp, AP, every single All-American team there is. The Davey O'Brien I vote for. The Unitas Award I vote for. All of that stuff. And I think I only got a smile back with an eye.
Yeah, I'm sure he did respond because he's great about that. But I can tell you this, that kid wants championships, and he's going to do anything he can with Campbell and his team to get that done.
You think they win the Big 12?
They're hungry to get back to the championship game. That's all I can say. It's a very, very competitive league. And, listen, man, like they got to do it every week. And I think the big knock everybody keeps talking about before the season was, they got 2 NFL receivers. How are they going to replace it? Man, like they got dudes there. Like, trust me, like, they ain't the only school that have lost players in the NFL. You can still win the next year, right? So, and it starts at the top, man. Like, if you ever get a chance to get Matt Campbell on your show, off season, whatever, man, like that guy, so many coaches, and they talk about it.
I'm shocked he's still there.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, that was a big talking point in the recruiting process, man. I'm like, Matt, like, are you going to be here? Because here's the reason why my son's going to come. It's, I love Iowa State, education, all those things are great. But man, like there's a lot of it's because of the great coaching staff and what they've built. That's why kids, nobody picks a school for the business program. Everybody has a business program. You can get the education anywhere, right? So, but I just, man, I'm really impressed with his loyalty. And man, listen, he runs his shop there, right? So he don't have to answer to anybody. His family loves it. Why would you leave? I mean, Kirk Ferentz stayed in Iowa for 20, 30, how many years has he been there?
Oh my God.
I'm sure he's got the biggest plot of land in the state.
Hey, look at his most wins in Big Ten history. He's made $9 million a year at Iowa. He's never left. He's been a really good coach, but like you said, you own your own moat. That's what you're looking for, right? I want my own moat, staying whatever I want, right? We're good, right?
There's a lot of flat land to put as many moats as you want, you know what I mean? And you can get a bunch of them if you coach in a big-time school in Iowa for 20-plus years. So, but you know what? Every coach, at some point wants a new goal, but man, he's got kids. They
Yeah.
love it there. You can live your life and still do what you love, and he can win. He's still winning and doing it, right? It's not totally transactional at Iowa State. I can tell you that. There's still culture. There's still great things going on there, man. And I'm just thankful my kid got an opportunity to say, go to a place where he was wanted, and that's all that really matters. And after that, he's got to make the most of it, and he's doing that now, which is great.
Rocco in Iowa. All right, it sounds okay.
Who would have thought that, right? Who would have thought? You think, oh, he goes to Iowa, everybody's going to forget about him. Like, oh, not so fast. People know Rocco Beck. Trust me. No one's. They know who Rocco is. That's for sure. And I'm Rocco's dad. That's all they know. Those are the two things. Say.
Rocco's dad, thank you so much for doing this, brother. You're always a dear friend of mine, man. Thank you again. We'll be in touch, man, and I mean it. You're number one on my list if something goes down there at USF, and I think they even know that too. So, brother, thank you again. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on, man. Always a pleasure.
Always, man. That's really great. Anthony Beck, 12-year NFL veteran, coach of the Nighthawks with UFL, man. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And his son is a Heisman Trophy candidate, by the way, at Iowa State, and they are kicking ass right now. So, yes. By the way, if we missed any supers, we'll do that here in a minute. I'm going to give you the big sills. You know, that Anthony Beck hat maybe I should start wearing hats more. You know, maybe I should start wearing a hat. What do you think? You think I should start wearing a hat? You know, what do you think? Hey, Iowa State looks pretty good. I believe they're undefeated. What do you think? You think I should start wearing a hat? I don't know. Right? Sue said no. Great, Sue. Thank you. All right. I'm going to give you my top 10 NFL teams, my top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Uh-oh. Nah. And Xander's like this. No, lose the hat, dude. Lose the hat. Not good. All right. Hey, by the way, something earlier. Xander's the only guy that could tell me there's not a person in broadcasting that could go fuck you, Sills. You understand that. Nobody. There's nobody that could do that. I love that guy. I got a text from a friend of mine. I was like, no, I love that kid. You kidding me? Are you nuts, man? Me and him are boys. If we can't say fuck you to one another, I don't want friendships. I don't want anybody I can't say that to. That's anyone else, they wouldn't get it. Like Jody saying that, I'd come through the phone cords and go through the internet, come out on the other side and kick that guy's ass. Okay? I would fly out there. Okay? Wait, hey, what's this? Guy shit on our birds after a big W. I was pissed. See, he's Philly. He is. You know, the defense didn't really, they need to shore up a little things there. They freaking got ran over. Hey, Sileo, fuck you. Believe me, I get it. The passing game didn't look good. Bobo Patullo, Sileo, fuck you. Hey, hey, what happened? Sig, nothing. And if you weren't here for it, you missed it. That's why you can't leave. All right. Okay, you can't leave. This guy's so feminine. Masturbator Eagle is so feminine. No, you don't, Xander. Everything he posts, it's like feminine. It's like this guy has feminine, like, care products in his bathroom. He's very feminine, this guy. Like, very feminine. No, you don't, Sills. It's really kind of, I don't know, LJ-ish. All right. Back to business here. Farzetta will join us at the bottom of the hour here. Now I found out something about Farzetta. Xander told me prior to the show, this will be a big-time appearance for him. And yeah, Xander. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know that until you told me that. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to bring anything else up, bud. Yeah, this will be a big appearance. Okay, so, all right. My top 10 NFL teams. My top 10 NFL quarterbacks. By the way, Drew Brees hates the Philadelphia Eagle offense. He says it's the worst in the league. He says it's the worst. Okay? Okay? I mean, it's the worst. Drew Brees says the Eagle offense is not watchable. Hates it. Says it's brutal. Now, Drew, they are 19-1. I mean, you can hate something, but if you're 19-1, how do you dispute that? I mean, right? It's terrible to watch. It's one of the worst offenses in NFL history. These are Drew Brees' words. And I'm like, yeah, probably true. But we always go back to, but they're 19-1. They're 19-1. Drew who? Drew Hall of Famer. Let the caboose off the tracks. Aha. He was a caboose for about 2.5 quarters. Tell you what, man, that engine's starting to run out of gas a little bit. You know, the engine, the Saquon Barkley engine, that thing's not really humming like it did a year ago. The caboose is really having to push a little more on that engine. You might have to change positions because as of right now, Jalen Hurts is the engine. Saquon Barkley's the caboose. Is that fair? You think in the first 3 weeks, Barkley's been the caboose? He ain't been the engine. Hey, he ain't been the engine. Right? That's more Jalen Hurts has been the engine. Barkley's been like the caboose here. Right? I mean, he looks like New York Giants Barkley. So, all right. We do this every Tuesday. Our list of the NFL top 10 teams. We wait for the Monday night games. And then we put together the Big Sills NFL top 10 teams heading into week 4 of the National Football League. Here we go. At number 10, from Kansas City, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 10. I think they're trending down, though, and not trending up. Number 9, maybe a little low. The Los Angeles Rams are number 9. They closed the gap on you. I think their shitty coaching and their ability not to take gambles cost them that football game. Easily should have won. No, not easily, but should have won that football game. Should have, would have, could have. There's no stat line for that in the NFL. That's an L. But I do think they're good. I've got them at number 9. Number 8. I can't believe I'm doing this. Dimes Jones and the incredible Cardiac Colts are at number 8. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Daniel Jones doesn't look recognizable. You're like, you know those Hollywood facelifts that those people get? I don't recognize the Colts. I mean, I can't believe what they're doing. Undefeated 3-0 in a year at number 8. Number 7, Jaden Daniels goes down. Don't worry about it. The greatness of Marcus Mariota steps up. And Marcus Mariota and the Commanders, they wreak havoc. My pick to win the NFC East, still intact. Great job. They are at number 7. Number 6. A team that you guys have been trying to sell me. The Green Bay Packers are at number 6. So here's the bottom 10. Chiefs 10. Rams 9. Colts 8. Commanders 7. Packers 6. Here are the top 5. What a display last night. I mean, 230 something was it? 224 in the run game? 426 on that Ravens defense? Holy shit. Gibbs and Montgomery? Hey, I'll tell you what. Maybe they needed a couple games to get themselves together because September's a liar's month. But that was no lie last night. They put the wood to the Ravens. Hey, that score last night, 38-30, was not indicative of the ass beating they gave them. They beat that football team up last night. The Detroit Lions at 5. Number 4. From the city of Angels, the Los Angeles Chargers are at number 4. Jim Harbaugh is a sensational coach. I told you this when he got that job. From day one, when he got that job, I told you, this guy's going to turn the Chargers around, and he is. That's why I picked them to win the AFC West. From the beginning, they're good, man. Here are the top 3 teams in pro football, according to Big Sills. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. I don't think that roster's great. I think it's good, but I don't think it's great. Superman. The big S on his chest. Josh Allen. He's the guy carrying that franchise. I mean, they're a good roster. They're not great. Allen makes them spectacular. What a fabulous player. Insane how good that guy is. And number 1, I don't really see a team, and here's why: the Philadelphia Eagles are Big Sill's number 1 team right now. Right now. I don't really see a dominant football team. What about last night, Detroit? Ant? I'm not sold on that. I want to see a little bit of consistency. Last year, the regular season, the Lions were the best team in the regular season. Eagles didn't have the best regular season in the NFL. The Lions did. Can they do that again? I don't know. And I don't really see anybody. I mean, the Packers just got beat by the Browns. Okay? So to me, until somebody can show me that they're more dominant than the Eagles, they get the benefit of the doubt. Why? Well, you've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. You got a quarterback who just won the Super Bowl MVP 9 months ago. I don't really see a dominant football team yet. So with all that being equal, Eagles are number 1 in my book. Okay, so here are my top 10. Eagles number 1. Number 2, I don't think I gave it to you. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are number 2. Even with their injuries, I think Mayfield's played great football, and I think they've got great football players on that roster. I think it's Bucs and Rams as the second best team in the and Detroit. Those 3 teams are probably in the mix on the second best team in the NFC. So I got Eagles, Bucs, Bills, Chargers 4, Lions 5, Packers 6, Commanders 7, Colts 8, Rams 9, and Chiefs are at number 10. So my top 3 teams are Eagles, Bucks, and Bills. Those are my 3 best teams. All right. So now, the most anticipated part of this is going to be my top 10 quarterbacks. Now, this is for 2025. Okay? This is for 2025. At number 10, Senor, I just said the Packers are 6th. No Ravens. No. They're 1 and 2. I'll take the Chiefs. Here are my top 10 quarterbacks. At number 10, from Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, Ravens. Number 9, Patrick Mahomes. Number 8 on the Big Sill's top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. From the Rams, Matthew Stafford. These are the top 10 quarterbacks so far in 3 games in 2025. At number 7, from the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Number 6, from Philly, Jalen Hurts. At number 5, from Detroit, Jared Goff. I can't believe I'm going to say this. At number 4, Daniel Jones. What? Shane Steichen was Jalen Hurts' best coach. Number 3, Baker Mayfield. Number 2, I think this guy's played the best football next. There's only one guy playing better football than Justin Herbert. Herbert's playing insane football right now. I got him at number 2. And number 1, the guy in Buffalo, Josh Allen. Allen 1, Herbert 2, Mayfield 3, Daniel Jones 4, Goff 5, Hurts 6, Dak 7, Stafford 8, Mahomes 9, and Lamar 10. Now, again, these are not the best guys in the league. These are playing the best in 2025, which is insane. And I like to call it a liar's month. September is a liar's month. All right. We'll comment more on this, but I couldn't wait to talk to Farzi here because let me tell you something to you here. I've been harping on this Bobo Patullo thing along with Angelo Cataldi, and we have been trying to figure out why in the world would you give the reigning Super Bowl MVP the 31st best coordinator in football? Why would you do that? I mean, like if you were going to get an open heart surgery, hey, we're going to give you a new doctor. Yeah, he went to Harvard, but hey, he's never had a surgery before. But he was in the room with the doctor. Yeah, you know, I'm going to take the guy over there, the old guy with the silver hair. I'm going to go with the experienced guy. Or how about another one? I'm getting ready to get on an airplane. Hey, I flew Cessnas around. I'm getting ready to fly a 747. You're going to fly across the country. I'd be like, I think I'm going to pass on this plane flight. I'm going to take the experienced guy over there. But no, not the Eagles. Bobo Patullo had to be the worst offensive output I've seen in 4 years, 5 years of the Eagles, or since Jalen Hurts has been an Eagle, was what we saw in the first half. However, the beautiful thing, they're 3-0. Without further ado, from the Mark Farzetta Show, our friend Mark Farzetta joins us right now. and we appreciate him taking time for us. Farzy, how you doing, bro?
I am doing fantastic, brother. How you doing?
Doing great here, man. So I think we're doing a little better than the chirping that's going on about your OC there with the Eagles now. So, I mean, hey, listen, too, you know what I have a problem with this, Farzy? This
What's
is
that?
Italian on Italian hate. So, I mean, I don't really like, we have Sirianni too, I got accused of it already. So it's a problem for me because he's even got an O in his name. So I don't know. Am I making too much of this? But I mean, how do you think the team has looked in the first 3 games?
I guess I can't criticize Patullo. No, Patullo, not Patullo. There you go.
Patullo.
Yeah. No, I think it's been bad. I think it's been very you go through the first 4 or 5 series against the Cowboys to start the season, and it looks good on paper. You're talking about touchdown, I think field goal, touchdown, like everything looks really, touchdown, field goal. First 4 possessions. Things are looking really good. And then you realize, wait, that one was a scramble by Jalen Hurts. The other was a scramble by Jalen Hurts. Then you needed a 58-yard field goal to cash in on. The other was Saquon just being Saquon. So it's like, how much can you really look at Kevin Patullo and say, oh, this guy, I can see why. But instead, we see why he got passed over 2 years ago and definitely again a year ago. And still, I haven't heard the question answered or even asked. What changed? You passed over Kevin Patullo for that Brian Johnson guy. That obviously didn't work out towards the end of the year. Then at the end of the season, you decided to make that switcheroo with your defensive play caller, which was just weird. Again, this is 2 years ago. They happened to win a Super Bowl in between. And then why did you pass over Kevin Patullo again to go to Kellen Moore last year? Now, that makes a hell of a lot more sense. You wanted experience. You wanted somebody that had that cachet about them. So that does make sense. But now all of a sudden, Kevin Patullo is ready for this responsibility. And anyone, by the way, while I'm on that note, anyone that is talking about the second half and like any type of a brilliant play calling by Jalen Hurts or a brilliant job of adjustments by Kevin Patullo, they were down 26-7 a minute into the second half. You throw the football, and that you're not even if you're the biggest running team in the history of humanity, and you're down to 1 wide receiver, and you got to roll out like defensive tackles at wide positions, you still throw the football. It was offensive football, passing football for dummies in that second half. But fortunately, the Eagles have a great quarterback in Jalen Hurts that can execute that. So that's why that worked out in the second half against the Rams above anything else.
Okay, well then tell me this. Do you think that Jalen Hurts has the straitjacket on? Or do you think that Kevin Patullo has the straitjacket on from Nick? Because let me tell you, man, I mean, all I hear this is my offense with Kellen Moore calling it, or with Brian Johnson calling it, or with now with Kevin Patullo calling it. Because at the end of the day, Farzy, if people think they're going to go back to like some sort of passing attack like 23, and they're going to change it because of what they did in the second half against the Rams, I think you're smoking hash if you think that's going to happen. These guys are going to go back because you know what they say as an organization? This is where you and my guy get the pushback. Hey, that you're not doing it, but then the organization fires back and goes 19-1 our way. So, right?
Yeah, here's my issue with the straitjacket thing, and I absolutely love Jalen Hurts. I think he's phenomenal, and I hope he's here for a million years and all that stuff. But I had a problem with something he said. It was like the first time I had a problem with something he said. When he talked to Pam Oliver after the win, and similar to the straitjacket comment and all that stuff, but similar to that, he said, we can't play the game not to lose. What the hell does that mean? Because I think if you polled everyone in the Philadelphia fan base, they would say that this is a run-first team, run the ball with Saquon Barkley. If that doesn't work, then you obviously have to make an adjustment. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs games, they get Kansas City Chiefs game, they get zero blitz 15 times in that game that Jalen has to throw against. They were running into that blitz a lot of times when they did run with Saquon, and that run wasn't working. They still got 88 yards on the ground with him, but still overall it wasn't working. Wasn't working against the Dallas Cowboys either. Guys are now committed to just putting pressure on Jalen Hurts in the hopes that you'll either run into the running game if they run, or you'll be able to speed up Jalen Hurts to try to make a mistake. But my bigger issue is, how is this all of a sudden a straitjacket when it was literally the way you won a year ago? Was letting Saquon dominate? Was letting him run behind this offensive line? Was that a straitjacket, or was that imposing your will on other teams? Because I'm not just going to flip-flop around and say, oh, no, now that's a straitjacket, or now that is, being afraid to really dominate a game. No, you do what you're the best at. Now, last year, that was Saquon Barkley running behind a Jeff Stoutland offensive line. This offensive line this year hasn't been terrible, but it has been a disappointment. And when you're the best in the NFL and you might have been knocked down a couple of pegs, that seems like a really steep and quick fall. So in the event you need to shift gears and become a passing team, then do that. And in the offseason, I was one of the few people, maybe the only one, that was saying, hey, in this next season, if you're going to ask anything of Kevin Patullo, what would it be? My ask of Kevin Patullo would be, hey, just lean on the passing game a little bit more. More so because 482 touches by Saquon Barkley last year, for anyone ever in the history of football, that's a lot of touches.
Yeah.
Lean on the passing game a little bit. You got weapons at your disposal there. Do it. In the second half, they were forced to do it against the Rams. And going into that game, I said, the one thing that scares me about this is that we've seen the passing game atrophy last year. We saw it in the year before that, where all of a sudden just hits a wall. Don't let it atrophy. In the second half, they had to push the emergency button. That emergency button was Jalen Hurts to these receivers, and it worked like a charm.
So some news broke today prior to you coming on, and that was Gardner Johnson being released.
Wow.
And supposedly the word is that he was bitching about his role, and then they came in and they kind of restructured his contract so that they could release him because they were reinstating a football player here. And according to the collective bargaining agreement, that you can't trade back for a player, but since he's been cut, you can bring him back to your team. So here's a guy that, again, I'm going to make a case for both because there is. The guy's 2 times he was here. You won 2 NFC titles in a Super Bowl. Reed Blankenship does not look very good without him next to him. With him in there, both those players were a pretty good, formidable tandem at safety. Your young kid, Makuba, can grow behind him. You're hoping he beats him out. Maybe by the end of the year, you release the guy. You bring him in on a limited contract. He's not going to get that $8 million now because of the problems that he's had with multiple teams. It's low risk, high reward here for a player. You don't have anybody better than him right now. There's nobody better on the Eagles in the safety position than this guy. Would you at least entertain it with guardrails?
I'm the GM. Me? He's here already. He's already got in an Eagles jersey.
Me too.
It's already happening. He's already practicing. He's already at the NovaCare complex before the ink was dry on the release papers.
Sidney Brown can't tackle. He can't tackle, man. He cannot tackle.
Yeah, and look, I like obviously what you've seen in the first 3 games of Drew Makuba, and I know you're going to have the startup costs and all that, but yeah, that guy can play, and I feel like he's only going to get better. The reason I don't think the Eagles will do it. I agree. I think he has proven he can play in the system. He's proven he can play in the city. And yeah, he's here and you go to the Super Bowl. That's basically what it amounts to. Oh, and now you've basically cost you nothing in the trade. So yeah, okay. I'm meaning you're not resetting anything. You're just continuing to acquire assets. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, obviously. Why wouldn't they do it? Well, unfortunately, here's why they won't do it. Or I should say, here's why I would be surprised if they did it. They like Drew Makuba a lot. They had Justin Simmons available all offseason, and they never did anything to bring him here to Philadelphia.
Never approached it.
I thought that was science. I thought it was a guarantee that he'd be back in Philadelphia, but they love Drew Makuba. And let's remember this. Let's follow the bouncing ball with this because I find this so interesting. And it does involve Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay. If you remember before Darius Slay was officially gone, and he was still here with the Eagles, but in the offseason, he was asked, I forget what podcast he was on or something, but he was asked about leaders on the Eagles secondary. And he was like, well, Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship's leader. He's great. And then he talked about like Quentin Mitchell, his son, quote unquote. Talked about Cooper DeJean. Talked about these guys. Talked about Zach Ball, these leaders throughout the Eagles defense. Did not mention Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could have still very much returned as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was not traded yet. Days later, boom, traded. Reed Blankenship, though, was the first name out of Darius Slay's mouth when he talked about leadership in the secondary for the Eagles. Throughout this entire offseason, every defensive player has talked about Reed Blankenship being a phenomenal leader. Drew Makuba, after he picked off Patrick Mahomes via the hands of Travis Kelce in KC, he came out and said before that play, Reed Blankenship was the guy that was really talking me up, really telling me what to do, really encouraging me. These guys love Reed Blankenship. And I will say this, he got toasted by Devontae Adams on that first touchdown. Toasted, went for the pass interference, failed attempt at the pass interference, failed attempt to cover, 2 failures, 1 play. Then later on, I believe it was late in the third quarter, maybe early in the fourth quarter, he came up with a great pass breakup on Devontae Adams by just getting his hand in the middle of his chest and making sure he batted that ball away. I would take Chauncey Gardner-Johnson based on talent alone, and he makes the team better. I don't think the Eagles go that way. I think at this point they look at it as damaged goods and would not go back to that well, so to speak. Me, myself, and I, done. Eagles, don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, because I looked at the collective bargaining agreement. Now, you can't trade back for a player, but if that guy's been cut and he's a vested player, he becomes a free agent. He doesn't have to go through waivers, and you can bring him back, according to the collective bargaining agreement. So whoever's saying that they can't re-sign him, that's not true. All right.
Correct.
Tell me what's
He's
wrong
available
with
to everybody.
He's available to everybody. So you tell me this here, Farzi. Why am I looking at Barkley? Barkley looks like New York Giants Barkley. I mean, I don't think it's Landon. Well, here I do. I think it's Landon Dickerson being injured. I don't believe that Cam Jurgens is back to being himself from that back injury. Steen's not the same guy too. And you know what they're doing differently now, the teams? If you watch the Cowboys, you watch the Chiefs, and you watch the Rams, they're bringing blitzes to flood the lanes.
Yeah.
On first and second down. So they're creating and they're using pass rushing guys on every down now, and it's stopping the run lanes. That's why there's no space in the middle for him, and he's just getting clogged up. They're basically saying Jalen Hurts beat us. And that's why, again, they know the Eagles don't have a consistent passing game. That's why all 3 of these teams have been close. And if you think about it, all 3 teams have had the ball in their last possession for those guys to be able to win ball games. So, I mean, we're going to see a lot of close football games here, Farzi, until they can get that run game going. But what's happened in your opinion?
Well, I mean, like we were talking about a second ago with the Kansas City Chiefs game and 15-0 blitzes by Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, that was the shining example of just that. Look, it's a win. The only way we lose this is if guys in the next level miss their tackles. Other than that, we're going to limit Saquon Barkley by hoping he runs right into our blitz. Or we're going to get after Jalen Hurts and we're going to win those battles at the line of scrimmage and get in the backfield and speed him up. The amazing thing is, I mean, the Rams went man-to-man a lot in the second half. They did not do that in the first half. They weren't as aggressive in the second half. I remember the second possession the Eagles had, because the first one was the sack fumble for Jared Verse. And then the next possession, the Rams came out 26-7. The Rams came out in the most vanilla-looking base 4-3 imaginable. And it was like, oh, they're just going to rest on their laurels here and just hope that they can't be torched. And then Jalen Hurts lit them up. Dropped one of the breadbasket of A.J. Brown. He threw the seam on the 33-yard touchdown to Dallas Goedert. That was right on the money. Jalen Hurts, I am shocked that some NFL teams think he can't do this because, and some Eagles fans after this too, after that game against the Rams, like, oh, all the haters are shutting up about Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, did everybody miss the Super Bowl? Did everybody take off that day? Because literally Steve Spagnuolo in the Super Bowl said, Jalen Hurts has got to beat us. And Jalen Hurts torched him. So he can do that. That's very much part of his game. Again, it goes back to the Eagles, I think, making a conscious decision and the right decision to say, oh, we can dominate with Saquon. Let's do that. That's what they did all throughout last year, especially Ironically enough, after they played Tampa, they went into the bye, and then they rolled off 10 in a row. But Jalen very much has that as a part of his game. I'd love to see the Eagles make that more. Maybe this is what Jalen was saying to Pam Oliver. Make that more of the option, especially while the offensive line is trying to figure it out, and while Saquon Barkley is trying to get in that same rhythm with the offensive line as well. And by the way, what you were saying about Cam Jurgens, I agree. What you were saying about Landon Dickerson in just terms of being 100%, trying to get back to that, I don't think they're 100% yet. And even, I can't remember if it was Steen or Mailata, but when Lane Johnson went out of the game, there was one period where Saquon Barkley was running to the line of scrimmage, trying to hit the hole, and he ran right into an offensive lineman. I don't think you could fill up one hand with counting how many times that happened in all of last year. And you saw it a couple of times there against the Rams. That, to me, is where you start talking about we've talked about not being in sync in the passing game. That's not being in sync in the running game.
I want you to help me out here understand this. So I've had people tell me that Jordan Davis is playing really good ball, and I think he is. Okay, then I'm going to flip this around. So in the first 3 games of the year, you're giving up 5 yards a carry per rush on a defensive line. The Rams ran for 160. They did 5.4 a clip. Kansas City ran at 5 yards a clip. The Cowboys ran at 5 yards a clip. Where is this D-line playing great when you're getting gashed and you're 18th in the run game? There's 2 issues right now. You're not running the ball well. And here, you take Jalen Hurts, what you said. If you take Hurts' rushing out of last game, the Eagles rushed for 46 yards and 14 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell? The best O-line? That's not the best O-line. That might have been that team I saw last night in Detroit.
Yeah.
What those guys did. So, Farzi, tell me what you think the defense is doing here.
I think they're embracing the bending part too much.
Okay.
And I don't think they're embracing enough. They're definitely embracing the not breaking part. But as far as the bending, I'll put it to you like this. Jordan Davis came up with that great stop on the 4th and 1 where the Rams were panicking. Sean McVay was panicking around midfield and was like, we got to go for it because they're coming. And
ran down Stafford too. Ran down Stafford. That was another sensational play.
The 3rd and 2 or whatever it was. That was insane. That was when Stafford broke out to his left and Jordan Davis went in pursuit. I just went, oh my God, he's going to catch him.
Yep.
And sure enough, he ran him down. But they're making big plays when it matters most.
Yeah.
But the in-between is haunting because it's in the same vein. I consider it to be the same vein as when you talk about, we found a way to win. Okay, that's great for a short narrative of a small portion of the season. But if that's the way you play the entire year, that day of reckoning is coming. In 2023, it was the 1-6 in their last 7 games. That was the day of reckoning. They dominated 2 games that year. One was against the Dolphins. The other was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Those are the only 2 games they won by more than 10 points. Everything else they were scratching and clawing for. The Kansas City Chiefs last year, they were scratching and clawing through the entire season. Their day of reckoning almost came in the AFC Championship game, and it sure as hell came in the Super Bowl. Now, you can do this as a defensive line. You could win those big battles when it matters most, but if you're allowing a team to either dink and dunk downfield or continue to get the first downs on the 3rd and short yardage, then you're not going to get off the field. And guess what? Your day of reckoning is coming when they're not going to allow you, Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter, to make that play when it matters most. And guess what? They're going to do what everybody in the league does, adjust. And they're going to, next thing you know, you're going to start seeing swing passes to the outside on those short yardage situations. You're going to start to see I know we hate this here in Philadelphia, but it's a thing. The tight end screen you could be seeing. You could be seeing those drag routes across the line of scrimmage. All those things will come to fruition if the Eagles continue to not be able to get off the field on 3rd and short.
Yeah, I'm with you here, man. And how about this? The edge rushers are not playing well. Zadarius Smith had a good game against the Chiefs, but
good debut.
Dude, this guy did not show up in that Rams game. And if you saw, they were not setting the edge. Have you been disappointed with Nolan Smith so far and with Jalix Hunt? Of those guys, remember, those guys were supposed to replace Josh Sweat, and I ain't seeing that yet.
Okay. So coming out of training camp, the thought was, okay, well, I guess they're really banking on Nolan Smith to step up. I guess they're really banking on Jalen Hunt to step up. And then after that, you're going to have Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche. I'm hearing Uche more than anything now, but whatever.
Sure. Pick one. I mean, really.
Yeah, exactly. And all of it's been disappointing. And Nolan Smith I'll give credit for Nolan Smith. He's in the backfield. He's speeding up the quarterback. But when it comes to closing the deal, I haven't seen enough of that yet. Jalen Hunt has shown good aggression, good first steps, instinct, all that, not closing the deal. That's been disappointing. I mean, I'm still begging for this team to, get somebody, and I know that these are few and far between, but I'm still looking for this team to replace Hassan Reddick. And they only got further away from that when they let Josh Sweat go. Obviously, Brandon Graham was playing phenomenally well last year, not just in getting after the quarterback, but playing his position all around last year. You haven't replaced that yet. Now, what I'm hoping is, and for all of Eagles fans, I'm hoping this, that these are the first couple of games where you're waiting to see how these guys really emerge into these new roles. It's the what Jordan Davis said last year, and I don't think really took seriously until the end of last year, which was Fletcher Cox isn't walking through that door. Jason Kelsey isn't walking through that door. This is on us now. This is on us. Nick Sirianni talked about this yesterday. The guys continuing the culture set by those guys, Brandon Graham being one of them. Well, these edge rushers need to realize that Josh Sweat isn't here. They sure as hell understand now that Hassan Reddick isn't here. He's going to be playing on the other side of he's going to be literally playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday. They need to step up. And I think that is going to happen. What I have seen so far has left a lot to be desired because guys just seem like they're not under pressure enough in that backfield.
Finally, how do you see this game Sunday playing out? Two teams 3-0. I mean, you could make the argument that this weekend, maybe the best teams, at least early on, because it'll change. Obviously, it's a week-to-week league. Yeah. But maybe coming out of week 4, the best team in the NFC could be determined at least the early part of the year between these two teams, and possibly too, Farzy. This may have a game to do with home field advantage at the end of the year when you're talking about seeding. So this could be one of those games. I think last week's game was big for seeding with the Rams. This week here, too, and you got another one of those coming up down the line in your schedule with Detroit. Yeah. So maybe this. I mean, those are benchmark games for potential home field advantage in Washington down the line, too, deep in the season. What do you see happening here with these two teams? Both a little bit banged up going in. Bucks more so hurt. Mike Evans is out 2 to 3.
Mm-hmm. Which is insane that guy just continues to put up numbers at the rate he does, and at the rate he also has hamstring injuries, which are just
big insane. Loss.
Huge. Eagles, to me, they win this game. This is a game that I think they come out and they look like that passing team that we saw in the second half. I don't think you're going to see a 350-yard game from Jalen. I hope you don't see that because that means it's way too close down the end and all that stuff. But for me, I just think this is a game that Jalen Hurts always has circled on his calendar when it comes to going up against Todd Bowles. 2 years ago in Tampa, they just took it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the regular season. And that was a game that we were all questioning whether or not Jalen was healthy because of a supposed lingering knee injury. I remember he ran out of bounds way short of the sticks, and he had plenty of room to get that first down, didn't do it. But the Eagles went on to win that game handily. But then they lose in the playoffs that year, Jason Kelsey's last game, and then last year before the big turnaround, before everyone's big come-to-Jesus moment after the bye or during the bye when they're visiting Nick Sirianni's office, the open-door policy, and they turn the whole season around. That was a demoralizing demoralizing loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a game that I think Jalen Hurts still has circled because the soundbite's still out there about them saying on the sidelines under Todd Bowles that he can't read a defense, keep on bringing it. He can't see the blitz coming, keep on bringing it. And he has not rightfully, no pun intended with the Buccaneers, righted the ship when it comes to playing that Buccaneers defense. And I think Jalen Hurts is just playing, especially coming off this Rams game, an extremely high level. And if they tell him going into this, okay, look, we still got to work this out in the run game. So it's got to be on you. You got to take the lead here.
Oh, they're 3-0 because of him.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. And I think that this is the game that Jalen Hurts, from start to finish, has this team on his shoulders.
Well, brother, it's going to be interesting. And by the way, just a little note here, having played in Florida, both professionally and collegiately, getting down there on Friday, that ain't really going to matter, bro. Okay, a day earlier, getting acclimated to the humidity and the heat. It took me a year and a half to get used to the heat when I went down from Connecticut to play at University of Miami. I called my grandfather up the first week I was in Miami, and I went, Pop, I want to come home. I don't want to do this anymore. And my grandfather goes, you're going to the freaking Army if you come home. and I went, I said, I guess it's the heat. Hey, man, yeah, that ain't going to work. I would have went down the last second because I don't want my guys in the heat. I want them to be you had to take care of all of this early part of the week and all your liquids and everything in because, dude, get this. It's supposed to be 86 humidity and supposed to be 97 temperature in that game. I'll tell you what, you better have a gas mask ready for you on that sidelines because it's a home field advantage, man. It is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. What a stadium, too. I love that stadium.
Oh, I love Raymond James. Absolutely. Yeah. Brother, I love you, man. I'll talk to you down the line.
All right, bud. See you.
You got it. That is Mark Farzetta. That is our friend. Make sure you check out the Mark Farzetta show. All right. I saw some super chats. And once again, Big Marshall wasn't listening as usual, and he listens to 5% of what I said. And I made the point to you by saying, here's the quarterbacks in the first 3 weeks that have played the best quarterback. I didn't tell you these are the best quarterbacks in pro football. So try to stay with me, kid. It's not that hard to pay attention. These are the quarterbacks that are playing the best right now in the first 3 weeks. I'm not putting a guy that had 94 yards passing in my top 5. I didn't say he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league today. He's not playing like that. Hold up, Sills. I'm behind. Well, you are behind, so I'm here to hook you up. I clearly heard you say several times that you would never have Hurts outside your top 5. He's not. Did you lie again to your fans? Again? No. Once again, as usual, someone doesn't listen. Next. I hope you wrote another one in here. Any more supers? You know I'm going to make you accountable. Make me accountable for what? My own words? Sure. Thanks, Marsh. Once again, I never told you that I wouldn't take him out of my top 5. He's not. But he's not playing top 5 football quarterback. Neither is Patrick Mahomes. Should I put Patrick Mahomes in the top 5? Bruce Dingleberry wants me to put that dude, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, in the top 5. He's not playing top 5 football. How stupid is that? I never said. I'm not quantifying it. I just told you. Sills, that right tackle from the Canes. That's right. Magala seems like he's a perfect Lane Johnson replacement. Never going to get him. He's going to go in the 5th pick. Look at my fingers. This is supposed to be, this thing here is supposed to be a little bit more over here. Yeah, see, that even looks terrible, doesn't it? It's supposed to be a little bit, right there. So, yes. Yeah, you'll never get him because he's going to be the 5th pick. And I don't know, maybe Bain, the pass rusher, is going to be the 4th pick in the draft. The Canes got probably 2 players going in the top 5. So any others? Is Gardner Johnson reunion possible or NFL doesn't allow it? I don't care what that guy said. I just read you the CBA. Said that if he was cut, 31 teams have an opportunity at him. Okay, he was released. This is not somebody, if you trade for him, you can't. Okay, I disagree. Jalen Asoli willed his team. That doesn't mean he's playing well. You think he had a great passing game in the Chiefs game? Bro, hang in there, kid. I don't agree. We disagree. I told you my parameters. These are my best quarterbacks. I got him in my top 10. He's not out of it. I've got Patrick. What did I put Patrick Mahomes? Let me see here. Where did I put Mahomes on this thing? Where did I put Patrick Mahomes? I got Patrick Mahomes 9th, I believe, on this list. I got him 9th. Here it is. I got Mahomes 9th, and I got Lamar Jackson and Stafford at 8 and 9. Stafford's 8 and Lamar's 10th. Now, you want to talk who the best quarterbacks in the NFL are? That's a different conversation. I said the guys who are playing the best football right now. Once again, open your stupid ears. Try to use your fucking thinking a little bit. Try not to be a dumbass. It's all good. All right. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the biggest motherfucker I know. He is the man. He is the man of Birds 365, and he's my brother, Big Z. Xander Kraus joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, how you doing, dog?
I'm good, man. I guess an apology's in order
No
because you're
way.
crying.
Don't
You know,
you dare.
you're crying
you
about.
dare.
I guess I don't know what I call you. I called you an F.
No, he said shut the. No, he called me a motherfucker.
But yeah, so you know, listen.
Wait a minute.
maybe
No
I
way. Don't you?
I might
dare.
have gotten a
Brothers-
little emotional in the
Wait a
heat
minute.
of the
Brothers
moment.
don't apologize.
Well, I do apologize. All right, and listen, if you're going to come on your Monday show or you're going to come on our post-game show and my Philadelphia Eagles march back
Fair
with a
enough.
comeback like that, you know, you're gonna ruffle some feathers. And I
Not
said
me.
at the start of the segment, you and John, it was a funeral yesterday on the channel wide, because I got funeral member 1 and 2 here, you know, dressed in all black, shitting on the Eagles parade. I'm like, man, that was a good comeback. That's a good football game. I don't care if you're a fan of the Birds or not. You got to tip your cap to a good football game. So I was a little fired up, but I apologize.
Bro, I'll tell you what. I get it, man. Xander, I tell you what, Xander's that guy. You know, I saw, the team that I go like this. They sucked for 2.5 quarters, and they got destroyed. Hey, fuck you, dude. Okay? They can't. And I'm like, that is so fucking funny, man. Anyway, so what about this Gardner Johnson thing, man? I've been dying to talk to you about it. What do you, if it's possible?
So I hear you and Farzy, and I appreciate your guys' perspective of, if I'm the GM, I'm making that call right away. But I do have a little of a different take on Gardner, and
all right.
I have a lot of respect for him as a player. I have a lot of respect for what he did for this football team, and nowhere am I about to say I wouldn't sign him. But I will say this. I got some questions. And if I was the GM of the team, I would have some questions. I would look into someone. Look, the Eagles let go of him. And I think everybody, me included, you included, and I think most people in the chat were like, why'd they do that? That was really a bad move. You traded for a bust guy where there was no place for him. And by the way, Kenyon Green, I think they released him recently. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. I don't know. Maybe they brought him back this week.
I think they brought him back to the practice squad.
He's one of those guys that keeps coming and going. But again, they traded away a starting safety for really a guy that had no chance to play here. So I was like, what are they doing here? So you probably think, okay, there's some red flags there. Is it all money like they said? Probably not. Now you go to D'Amico Ryans, who is probably the perfect type of player coach for a player like Gardner Johnson. Think about it. A nasty defensive player in his day, a guy that can relate to the young athlete. At least you would think that. And then he gets released. I don't know. Like, by the way, the other weird part about it, and I put this, but I don't know if you interpreted my text to you correctly. They already did convert his salary to a signing bonus. That's normally something that players like because, like you say, what's better, money in my bank account or money coming to me in the future? So they converted $6.5 million to a signing bonus, which to me would insinuate this guy's not going anywhere. That's why we're going to give him his money up front and then maybe free up some cap space to make other moves on the team. So I'm thinking, all right, why did they do that and then end up cutting him after week 3? Like, you know what I mean? I did something. That's why I said to you, my something was going off. I think something happened. Maybe it's as simple as he did have a falling out in the locker room. He was bitching about his role and 0-3 start. I don't know. Feels a little too good to be true for me to just cut a guy you just gave $6.5 million to after 3 games. But like they saw him, he had training camp there and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like there's some red flags there, and I'd have to look into them. But to your point, he'd be the best safety on the Eagles right now, probably. Now, let me ask you, make one more take about my concerns. Sorry to keep rambling. You just put a C, for better or for worse, on Reed Blankenship's chest. They just opted to do that this year coming into the season. Now, Reed's a big boy, and I'm not saying he can't handle it. But Gardner Johnson is the type of player where, do you want to mess up the chemistry and the vocal point of communication on your defense by bringing in a player who in the past already had an issue with anybody giving Reed that type of credit? Remember when Darius Slay said, Reed's the next leader on this defense, CJ Gardner Johnson took a big exception to it. Now, they're grown men, they're professionals, they'd have to work through that. I'm just saying, the Eagles do care about that locker room. They do care about, kind of the narrative and stuff like that. So I wonder if they would think about that part of it. You don't want to undercut Reed. And then also Makuba's the obvious one where you got young guys that are playing so good right now. I think he'd be a good mentor, but is he a good mentor? Like, he's a good football mentor because he's better than Makuba. But is he a good – I don't know. Like, I'd almost rather get Makuba, go through those growing pains, and maybe get a bigger upside. So, not so sure I'm out on it, but not so sure I'm in on it yet either.
2 points, okay? Weren't you the guy that told me, I'm not fucking firing a guy because of shitty fucking attitude. I'm firing a guy. You got to coach around that. You said that earlier, right? Okay,
well,
so
I said you got to be careful with players that have that mentality because that's part of what makes them a good football
player. And I agree with you. I'm not ripping you on it. I'm saying that you made that comment
line, though, right?
Because you said this to me. You went like this. Nobody got it. You just got rid of him because he's an asshole? That's not a reason to get rid of a guy. Secondly, if you're the agent for Reed Blankenship, how well has Reed played with CJ next to you in 2 years that he was there? Because you're not really having a great start to your 2025 where you're betting on yourself. You just got a brand new fucking agent. Your agent's looking at you going, well, them young dudes that you got next to you, they ain't helping you, dude. They're getting you turned around. You're looking at some plays back there where you look like you're on an island back there playing in that too high. You get more of an experienced guy. Doesn't that improve the play of him too? So you got to be looking at it like this. If you're Reed, I'm better with that guy than I am without that guy. Don't you agree?
I think that's a good-ass point by you. I didn't even think about that. And you're right. But at the end of the day, the agent doesn't have the decision-making ability to bring in CJ Gardner Johnson.
No.
So, now, to your point, maybe he says to Reed, hey, if they do ask you, I know you guys might not be the closest or whatever, but that guy helped you, man, play your best football.
You got the two
so I don't know, maybe. Look, I agree. He's better than what we have right now. He is. But I'll say this too. I can't, to be completely honest with you, after 3 games of Eagles football, and it's a small sample size, I haven't come out of one of the games like, man, we better fix safety. Now, has it looked perfect? No. I mean, there's been some busted coverages. There's been some things, but Reed, as Big Marshall will tell you, Reed Blankenship stinks. But I haven't come out of it like, holy moly, we might have to make a move. Now, we did come out of it talking about the cornerback like that. So, I don't even know if it's one of those things where it's as pressing. Like, if it was Darius Slay got released, I'd be like, hey.
No, if this was a corner, if this guy was a corner, you'd have more of a lean going. I'm going to do it.
If Slay got released, I'm all over that, So, I don't know. From that perspective, I'm not sure on whether he's whether the juice is worth the squeeze.
Well, how about this? Let me put this here, but it comes with guardrails. Dude, you're going to make $8 million with all your bonuses this year. Well, that contract is now void because you've been released. So I'm going like $2.5 million. I got incentives on whether you're here or not, playing incentives. Right. I mean, why not make that deal, Xander, where you make that deal like this, where it's high reward and low risk?
Well, you could look at it like that. I mean, I do think there was something put out. Now, I've been working, so I didn't even go and look at it. I know a couple of people said BLG put something out that there is I don't know. Apparently, there's like a 4-game thing. Is that true? I don't know. Let me go and read this real quick, and I'll just tell you. I'll see what he put out.
Won't be reunion. League states that you can't re-sign a player you traded away than being cut for 2 seasons. I don't see that.
So here's BLG. He put this out. All right, and I'll pull it up here. I'll pull it up here. So BLG puts this out. It seems like the Eagles can't actually re-sign CJ Gardner Johnson since he did not play a minimum of 4 games with the Texans. And then if you click it open and you read it, reacquisition of a traded player, a player who has been traded cannot return to the club that took such action until 2 seasons have elapsed, including the seasons of the year in which he left the club, unless one of the following exceptions applies. A traded player must have been on the active and inactive list of the assignee club, any club beyond the assignee club or combination thereof for a minimum of 4 regular season or postseason games, after which the original assigner club may reacquire the player by waiver assignment or free agent signing. The 4-game requirement specified herein may span 2 regular seasons if applicable.
Here's the deal, though. He is eligible because he was active and they cut him today, right? They cut him today, right? Which is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, he was active for the 4th game.
Well, no, the 4th game is Sunday.
Yeah, but he was active for the 4th week of that game. He's active at the beginning of the week.
Is that how they look at that? It says pretty explicitly here, 4 regular season or postseason games.
I think this is a CBA question. I really do. I'm going to have to get more clarification.
ZMC's read B. Dude, BLG put out the screenshot. I don't have B. Where do you even get this? I don't know where this came from.
I'm going to have to go deeper into the CBA. Okay. Traded player must have been on the here. Okay, B. A traded player must have been on the active, inactive list of the assignee club and any club beyond the assignee club or combination, therefore, for less than 4 regular seasons.
Yeah.
That's B. He qualifies.
I see B.
But
he wasn't placed on waivers. He's a veteran.
They cut him.
Player.
He was placed on waivers today.
No. He's a vested veteran. So he's
okay. Well, it's still called that. He was cut. Okay, he was released.
Yeah, so Stills might be right. All right, I'm not sure. I'm reading this and learning this as well as you guys are. DM says that's for non-vested players. CJ Gardner Johnson's a fully vested player.
That's
what
right.
Stills read earlier is the same thing I found. He's a free agent. It'd be a free agent signing. Maybe.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm not sure. I have no clue. Is there any other clarity out there? Because BLG never responded.
Yeah, because B is the one he qualifies under. Okay, right. He was fired, dude. So he was released, and he doesn't have to go on waivers because he's vested.
Ask ChatGPT. I don't know. Somebody responded to a ChatGPT response, and BLG was like, "Nah, that ain't real." So I don't know. Who knows? At the end of the day, do the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles need CJ Gardner Johnson? No.
No, but I'd like to have him.
I hear you. I don't know, man. Vic didn't like that guy.
No, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Or wait, was it Vic that didn't like him, or was it Howie that didn't like him?
I think it was Vic. You remember some of Vic's comments in the pressers? He wasn't.
Yeah. Oh.
He wasn't particularly excited to talk about CJ Gardner Johnson, and he basically said, "I don't give a rat's ass about him" when they asked about his departure.
So, you still feeling the Bucs are getting blown out by the Eagles?
Yeah, I say one thing at the end of the show. But I say one thing at the end of the segment yesterday. I'm like, I'm feeling good about this Buck game. We might blow this team out. Sileo takes that 1 3-second snippet, and he's using it in the whole first hour. He's like, so Xander's been saying the Eagles are going to blow the Bucs out. Do you guys agree? I'm like, man, this dude, I gotta. And that's what I said. That's when I reapplied the effort to Big Sileo. I said I didn't get my prediction yet.
Oh my God!
But in all seriousness, I do feel good because they're hurt pretty bad.
Big time.
and some of their guys that are coming back, like you said, how good are they going to be their first game back?
No way.
Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin. Now, I will say that Ibuka kid I really like. He's a guy that could beat us. I saw some of you chat debating a little earlier in the show. I think they were picking on or all making or messing with somebody that said that he's going to destroy us. And quite frankly, I would say to Eagles fans, we've played 3 games, and every week we've had receivers beat us, including the likes of Tyquan Thornton. So, CeeDee Lamb racked up well over 100 yards pretty easily and could have had a boatload more. And what's his name last week? Puka Nacua had, a big game. I think he had 120 yards in that game, plus 2 deep passes, one to Tyquan Thornton and one to Devontae Adams. So, I mean, we got a decent secondary right now, but, we got some guys coming in that we're going to have to handle. I wouldn't just sit there and say, oh, Ibuka is screwed. I mean, I don't know. He's a good player. Now, he's got some more to prove, but we'll see.
Do you want to hear what I heard they're going to do?
The Bucs or the Eagles?
The Bucs.
All right, let's hear it.
They're going to go up tempo because of the heat.
Try and gas them
and run stretch plays. They're going to run the stretch plays on them.
That's not going to work. They're going to gas themselves in the process.
Why?
Stupid
They practice and play in that.
Who cares, dude? You heard John. You heard John this morning?
Year, I saw you guys want to go. As soon as you got off the bus, you wanted to get back on it.
Yeah, no, that heat is no joke, man, down there.
Hey,
I think our boy Josh Proud. Josh, are you in here? I think our team.
Bro, it is not a joke. It's a fucking real deal. If you're not ready for that, and I don't think they were ready.
No, I hear you. I mean, look, maybe, but if I were Tampa Bay, I'll tell you this. My approach wouldn't be, all right, let's just try and gas them. It wouldn't be
when
mine.
I hear the D coordinator telling me that Carter's not in shape, and I hear that in the press conference that your star defensive lineman is not in the best shape,
right.
I'm gonna try to take that as an advantage by gassing the guy by running stretch plays and up tempo stuff. So, somebody asked me, and their PR guy asked me, and I refused to answer. I go, listen here, man. Nah, I'm not going down that route. He goes, is he in shape or not? And I go like this, nah, we're not going there, man. I'm one of those guys that wants to see a fair fight. I want to see a fair fight Sunday, man. I think here's how I see this thing. You think you're running the ball well?
Certainly not.
Bucs are 6th in rush defense. Okay. So that might be a problem since you've struggled in 3 straight games.
If we've struggled in 3 straight games and found a way to have three wins, while struggling running, as you point out.
Your other aspects are winning. I'm just going after one. Hey, you're not that good right now running the ball with the caboose known as Barkley.
No way you just said that. You did not just call say. Wait a second.
The caboose right now.
Hurts
is the engine.
Yes. Hold on a second, though. We had this debate. We've talked about it. I'm with you. I'm a Derrick Henry guy. Hey, man. You can't put the ball on the turf.
3 games in a
3
row.
straight games. 3 straight games for Derrick Henry.
And they didn't put him back in. My daughter.
Hold the ball.
Hey, my daughter was watching the game. She goes, they benched Derrick Henry. I go, I don't
believe
they
bench him?
I don't know. They didn't put him back in the game after that. He never went back in.
Saquon Barkley is not a caboose. All right. My editors, if you're listening, please clip that.
Wait, he has 46 yards and 14 carries last week.
Saquon Barkley is a caboose. What?
You don't think he's been a caboose in the first 3 games?
This dude just had the most prolific rushing season in the history of running backs.
How's he been in 3 games?
3 games, caboose. Never change, Big Sil.
He's been a caboose for 3 games.
Yes, Jalen Hurts is the engine, baby.
Jalen Hurts is the engine right now. They've switched roles.
Did you hear Johnny Mack this morning about the offense?
No. What'd he say?
It's all Nick Sirianni. No, it's not the analytics department. Now, I don't know if I believe him on that, but it's not the analytics department. It's not the owner. It's not Kevin Patullo.
Sure.
It's not Jeff Stoutland.
Holy cow. Who fucking believes that?
It's Nicholas Sirianni.
Oh, my God. That's like saying that he has his own keys to the Novacare.
It's
They don't let him
Nicholas
in.
Sirianni.
You gotta be kidding me that this, oh my God. So is he saying that he's taking credit for last year too?
I guess. I don't know what he's
Are
saying.
you
But I
fucking crazy?
asked because, I said this, like you
Does
said
he
to me.
take
yesterday.
credit for the first half then too?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I said it though. You said it to me yesterday, and I'm like, shit, Sills is right. He's like, so really, you're telling me they just flip a switch and then all of a sudden they're the best passing team and
Right.
they have the best passing, and I'm like, oh, that's
Looked
yeah,
like
you're
Josh
right.
Allen in the second half.
Something changed. Like, I don't know what it was, but something changed when they started to take off. Now, I don't know. I asked because I think Patullo's in the straight jacket too, and I don't agree with Farzetta at all about the straight jacket. I mean, come on, Farzetta, that was a bad take. That was a bad take. I mean, he was talking about, you can't say that when you run to a Super Bowl last year, and it's like, dude, he still was in a straitjacket, but the only difference was their other plan worked.
Yeah.
Right now, their other plan isn't working because teams have caught up to it, which means it's time to evolve. And evolution looks like bringing in your best receiver, your top receivers. So I didn't like that take, but that's fine. He's entitled to it. So did Patullo get benched, or did the Nicholas identity get benched?
Oh, by the way, my question would be this. So Nick was asked a question and he felt compelled to answer. No, Kevin Patullo called plays in the second half. Why don't you just go like this? That's a stupid question. Next. I mean, Kevin called plays. Come on, man. Come on, Nicky. Dude, do you know why John answered it this way? And I'm going to tell you this. We're probably going to have our first dust up on Sunday. So get ready.
Good, I've been waiting for one. I feel like you're walking on eggs.
Wait a minute here. Walking on eggs. No.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my spot. I'm I'm the King Cobra.
Sorry, I should have. I understand you're a little sensitive apparently by my words today, so I have to be careful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's me. That's me. If you actually think that guy, and it's so important for Bob Lang and everyone to know that Nick has total autonomy over this team, you're fucking high. I mean, honestly, Frank Reich told you that the analytics people are knee deep into giving game plan and stats on how they build their game plan. And then the coaches put the game plan together based off of that. He was a guy who put a Super Bowl championship game plan together for Nick Foles, and Frank was in the building, and they were Howie's guys. So what fucking changed?
You're right.
Nothing.
You're right. Look, I said
Frank
when
John
was in one of those moods today where he wasn't giving it. He didn't want to give an inch. He didn't want to give a millimeter today.
But Frank said it. Frank said it here.
I know. But I did say, I do think that there's more organizational approach. But my point in saying it actually wasn't to chirp even about the front office. It was more about, I don't think Kevin Patullo is actually the guy that has his weak ass play call. I really don't. I think he's been told.
Got him in a sandbox.
Yeah. A very small sandbox too, and maybe smaller because of the inexperience.
And why? And why?
I don't know. I mean, look, here's where it is hard to push
19-1.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's hard to push back on them. Now I am of the belief though that 19-1, 17 of the 20 games you're referencing there happened in a different season with much different circumstances where you had Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, CJ Gardner Johnson, Darius Slay, and all these different guys on your football team. And a great run, and Saquon Barkley and Mekhi Becton and all these guys that, were a part of a team last year that really is now being looked back on as a historic team by a lot of metrics, from the running game, from the defensive performance, from the Super Bowl domination that they had. So you're not going to be able to duplicate that. So 19-1. Yeah, I hear you. But isn't the 3-0 and 3-0 by the flying by the seat of your pants the more important analytic? Yes, they're still 3-0, but your margin is still small. And if teams have caught up to you even 10%, 20%, 30%, which might be less than that, it might be 10, 15, 20%. Well, you got to pick up for that somewhere else because you can't just, smash the square peg into the round hole if that thing is closed up. You know what I mean? So look, this is the beauty of the team. you still have AJ and Devontae. You know, you should be able to get that thing going a little bit more. So that's my one concern with the whole, well, we're 19-1. Okay. Every year is different in the NFL. Very different.
Every week's different.
Exactly. But even more so the years. So, you know, I don't know, just something to keep your eye on. I do think this team has to continue to try and improve, evolve, and get better. And I'm on AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts' side. Okay. I am.
Yeah, I am too.
I know people will say the organization's right, but I'm on Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown's side. I want them to be able to play their game. I want them to be able to be aggressive because they've earned the right to be aggressive. They're great.
I trust those guys more than Patullo.
Dude, they're both top 20, 30 football players on the planet. Let them go, man. Let them play ball, you know? Let them play ball.
Well, let me ask you a question here. Do you think Jalen resents that kind of approach by them sometimes when they think they know better than you because they throw a 19-1 record at them? It's kind of like this. When Michael Jordan got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he goes like this. People think that organizations win championships. Michael Jordan went like this. Players win championships. And don't you think that that's a little bit more of those guys talking like this? Hey, bro, you keep talking about that 19-1. That's not fucking you. Yeah. That's us.
All right.
We're 19-1. You think you're 19-1.
That's interesting. I mean,
don't
and also
think that 19-1, there's like a power struggle there on that all of a sudden that, hey, wait a minute. We know better than you, and that's why we're doing this approach.
Right. Well, I don't know if I call it a power struggle.
Wait a minute. This is our fucking record. We put 19-1 together.
You're right. I don't think it's reached the point of power struggle yet. I don't. But I think it's fair to wonder that. And I think the other thing, I mean, as any honest fan should do is you should look at what, you know, let's get to the truth. We are talking about an organization that, you know, did fire Doug Peterson because they wanted more control over
and
where
turned out to be right.
You're right, and they're entitled to want that. But we can also look at how that applies to this current setup as it is today. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, they've been right in the past. Doesn't mean they're going to be right all the time. I mean, if that were the case, we'd have a lot more than 2 Super Bowl rings up in this place. So we have 2. You know, it worked last year and it worked in 17 and 18 or whatever. 17, I guess they won it in 18. But, you know, I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown are right. I do.
I think so too.
And to be honest with you, I think Saquon Barkley would say the same thing. Yeah, the holes aren't there right now, man. We got to switch this up a little bit. Holes are not there. They don't look like they did in my 2,500-yard year season.
I completely agree with Senor on this. Sirianni gets very defensive when you start talking about play calling and Kevin Patullo.
He always has. Yeah.
Instead of going, we got to be better, he gets defensive on that. And it's one of the things that makes it more accentuated with him and how he communicates that process. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he starts to take more onus of it because he doesn't want his little guy to get all the heat that's coming down on him. He says, I'm kind of responsible for this too in the direction of the team. And before you know it, you're trying to throw life preservers to Patullo. Bro, you're 3-0. You don't have to throw life preservers to anybody. You're 3-0. You're 19-1. We get it. But it ain't you. It's the player. Zaner, how does this make sense? How does the organization take accountability for 19-1 when Jalen Hurts has had 6 different coordinators and Jalen Hurts is finding a way to win and he's 19-1? How does the organization really believe that changing out and putting inexperienced coordinators in, you think that that's really in the best interest of a player's development? It is all on that player. I'm becoming more of a belief in this. You are where you are now. It is no doubt by the personnel that you've acquired. It ain't by the heavy thinking. And that D coordinator you have, holy shit. This guy's better than Jim Johnson.
I'm going to give you a response to this that many will not like. And maybe you won't expect. They think Jalen Hurts is the same thing as the coordinator.
Yeah. Replaceable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Jalen Hurts.
No.
But like,
it's a knock on nerve mentality. It's a knock on nerve mentality.
This is a team that fired Doug,
shipped
Carson away, didn't care about a cap hit because they said we're going to figure this out. We don't need any quarterback. We don't need, now they're winning with this player right now. But maybe to your point, like that's why they don't That's why they're not fully listening to, what they want to do, because again, they do have that approach. And again, part of it is good. Part of it is that they're right. And sometimes, leaders, however you quantify that organization, owner, GM, Nick, whoever you think the leader of is it. Sometimes leaders have to do shit that some people want to push back on. And not everybody's going to like what the leader's doing, but the leader's doing it for the betterment of the team or the betterment of the group, in this case, team. I don't know. Are they right? They have been. They were last year. Are they now? I think they got to be. See, Lucius, this isn't what I meant. I knew people were going to take it that way. That's not what I meant. That's really not what I meant. I think you got what I meant.
It's their mentality, he's saying.
It's their mentality. It's the mentality of people that their way or no way. They don't give a shit if A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts want to throw more. They don't care. Their beliefs about the organization are what supersede everything.
Let me give you context.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to that. Good.
Let me give you context of what he's saying. They've had 9 coordinators in 4 years on both sides of the ball. They think those guys are replaceable and interchangeable. And look at
they won 2 Super Bowls in the last 8 years with 2 different quarterbacks. That's why I said it about Jalen.
Yeah, and they believe in what they do more than they believe in the people they bring in. They don't care, man. Look, they look at the players as replaceable, like Gardner Johnson, and look at their mentality, how they replaced Milton. Look how they replaced Josh. Look how they replaced all these other guys. They thought their process was better. And what happened at the end of the day? This guy's making trade after trade after trade. Like 3 weeks going into the season, he made more movement 3 weeks going into the season than he made in 8 months. So, I mean, okay, here, a couple things here. Let me give you my list.
Wait, Senor doesn't often have good comments. So when he does, sometimes it's fun to highlight him. Senor, I love you, brother. Front office mentality is that they built – this is what I meant, though, to respond to Lucius. Front office mentality is that they built the success and they can bring in any coach or players to do what is being done. That's why they said they're a QB factory when they drafted Hurts over Wentz.
That's right.
Exactly right. It's not a knock on any player. It's the organizational approach here, which is also why you have a GM. You won't see this anywhere else in the NFL. That's had – how many different head coaches have been under Howie Roseman? I think it's 3 or 4 now. You don't see that often, right? You don't see coaches get fired and a GM not get fired. You know what I mean? That's pretty rare. I don't know where else that might happen. It might be another instance of it, but
usually the GM and head coach are tied together.
That's what I mean. They get hired at the same time a lot of times, and and sometimes
Chris Greer in Miami is going to get canned with his hiring of Mike McCann.
Yeah, right.
He's going out the door there. So I got 2 lists here. My top 10 NFL teams. I do it every Tuesday. Tell me if you agree. Number 10, I got the Chiefs. Number 9, I got the Rams. Now, this is 3 weeks into the season, okay? 8, I got the Colts. 7, I got the Commanders. 6, I got the Packers. 5, I've got the Lions. 4, I got the Chargers. 3, I got the Bills. 2, I have the Bucks. 1, I have the Eagles.
Okay, a little high for the Bucks for me.
Okay,
I think they're in the top 10. A little high for me. Like the Birds at 1 right now.
Put the Chargers in that position at 2.
And I'd say I'd flip 8 and 7.
Okay, Colts and Commanders.
Yep, I like the Colts right now a little bit more than I like the Commanders. Who was 9?
The Rams.
I'd probably put the Rams above both of them.
Okay.
The Rams, then Colts, then Commanders, then
I think the Rams are a good team, man.
I do too. I think they're a really good team. I think they're a good team.
And I think every Eagle fan should think that too, because
and I don't think they had their best game on Sunday. Yeah, I don't think they Matt Stafford left a lot on the table. There was more opportunity for that team to play better. They put up 26 on us, and they've really left a lot on the table. So I think they're a good team. I do. I think the Rams are a good team.
You know what? I would say this to you, man. I could really put the Chargers at number 2. I debated Chargers.
Well, if you're going off of just this year, you could definitely
right now 3 games. Yeah, I'm not
right. No. Just 3 games. I mean, it probably looked like one of the better teams. Now, again, we're living in liars month still, so
that's
still
right.
got 7 or 8 days to go. Right. 7 or 8 days to go until we can't use that anymore.
It's only 12 quarters of football.
Yeah, so Bucks are not 2, though, in my eyes. Lions are still up there, dude. They put up another 38 points last night. Like, that
Even after
offense is
getting
humming
worked
again.
by the Packers.
Well, I mean, that was the first game of the year, right?
Okay. Yep.
You know, that was in Green Bay, I believe. No, was that not in Green Bay?
It was in Green Bay. It was at Lambeau.
Was that Lambeau? You know, I don't know. I think that was, yeah, you're right. They didn't look great there.
Divisional
but,
game. I got it.
Yeah, I'm going kind of off trend.
Carson's first game. All of that.
The only thing I struggle with, I don't know if I love Jared Goff. I've always said that. I like the way he's very accurate. He's a very timely thrower, gets the ball in the right spot.
I don't know why
at the
I've
right
never
time.
liked him, and he's a winner.
But I don't like him in playoffs. And, you know, it reminded me of that last year in the playoffs. And they got shelled. And I just don't like him in the playoffs, but I do think they're a really good football.
He's gotten to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the run game is really what's scary there, though. So, Brian.
Dude, and that pass rush, they had 7 sacks last night.
So, if the pumper, you know, who says this about the run game, I do. I think it's the best run game in football right now. If Sills, I'm not going to speak for me because it's not my perspective, but I know I'm pretty sure it's Pumper's perspective, who has often criticized our quarterback. And we were able to go and win a Super Bowl with what Brian Pumper would refer to as a caboose in Jalen Hurts. So, you know, regardless of what you think of Jared Goff, if they have the best run game, then you are admitting that, yeah, they could go and win it still.
Well, he lost the Super Bowl 14-7 to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they lost by 1 score in that game. There wasn't a lot of offense, and Belichick had a game against McVay in that game. But, I mean, they can win a Super Bowl with him, dude. If you can win a Super Bowl with substitute teachers and other quarterbacks, you can win one with Jared Goff. I think even Aikman said it last night. I mean, dude, their front seven too with Aiden Hutchinson. He was all over that.
Yeah, he's looking back to form. Remember, he also didn't look very good week 1. So he starts playing better, the team starts clicking. They're a good team. I mean, look, they are a good team, the Lions. Who else did you have in your top 5? You had Bills and
Eagles. I had Eagles, Bucks, Bills, Chargers, and Lions.
Bucks, Chargers, Bills, Chargers, Lions.
I really don't like the Bills that much.
I don't like their defense. Their defense blows.
I don't even know why I got them at 3. I don't really think much of that roster.
Dude, I know why you have him at 3.
It's the quarterback.
It's Josh Allen, dude. He's a wizard. He is, dude. Look, I love good football. I say it all the time. I'm not afraid to say I like other players. A lot of these nerds in the chat won't say, oh, my God, you like any other player. Yeah, I watch football. I like football. I like good football. Josh Allen's one of the funnest players in the league to watch. By the way, I think he looks more mature this season as a player.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's not as reckless with the football right now. More patient, exactly. And he makes the plays he needs to make to win football games. So I think Josh Allen is the reason you have him at 3. And to be honest, I can't really push back too hard on him, man. Josh Allen is a hell of a player, and he has been able to really elevate an otherwise pretty shitty franchise. Not a big fan of the coaching up there. Not a big fan of the defense. Just not all that great, man. Josh Allen's a hell of a football player.
Last one here, then we'll do the super chats here. I got my top 10 quarterbacks. We do this every Tuesday, folks. Number 10, I got Lamar Jackson.
Just off this year, right?
Off this year, first 3 games. Number 9, I got Patrick Mahomes. Number 8, I got Matthew Stafford. Number 7, I got to say it, man. I looked them all over. I think Dak's playing great football. I got him at 7. I mean,
he's playing.
They're not losing games because of him, dude.
He's playing good football right now.
Number 6, I got Jalen Hurts here. Number 5, I've got Jared Goff there. Bro, I can't believe I even have this. This can't be true. But I got Daniel Jones, man. I mean, bro, he's throwing 72% completion percentage. He's got the most yards passing in the league. He's fucking on fire. I mean, if you're the New York Giants, that can't be a good look. That Shane Steichen guy has turned this guy into some ball player.
And by the way, I don't know. I can't predict the future, but right now it doesn't look like flash in the pan play. It looks like Shane has brought the talent out of the player.
Only injuries will stop that guy's success this year.
And they have a decent O-line up there.
Right. That kid Nelson, I told you, man, he's a great player. I got Mayfield at 3. I've got Herbert at 2. And I got Josh Allen at 1. Dude, Justin Herbert has played amazing football.
He's played really good. I still got Josh Allen.
Now again, folks, it's 3 games. This will clearly change. And I think the world will get right by the end of the year. But these are the guys that I have that have come out of the gate with the first 12 quarters of the season. And I do have Hurts because I'll tell you, like I said, you're not 3-0. Like, could you make that move from Goff and Hurts and put him 5? Sure. Could you put him 4 with Goff? Yes. I mean, with Jones. Sure. Because I don't trust Jones. So
yeah.
Jalen.
Now I'm going to give you the top graded quarterbacks in football right now.
Okay.
Just graded on PFF. Overall offense. Number 1 graded quarterback right now is Sam Darnold. 91.9 grade, playing great football, again, up in Seattle. All right. Number 2 is actually Dak Prescott. 90.2 grade, 88.7 passing grade. Sills is kind of right. He's playing pretty good football right now. Now, he does have 3 picks, so I'm docking him for that. PFF isn't. I'm going to dock him a little more for that. Number 3 is Matthew Stafford. Number 4 is Josh Allen. Number 5 is Daniel Jones. Number 6 is Kyler Murray. Number 6 tied is Justin Herbert, same grade. And number 8 is Jordan Love. Number 9 is Jalen Hurts. And number 10 is Joe Burrow, who's obviously out now. And then you have Baker right there right after that. You have Drake May. All of my
10 guys just moved in a different
right, exactly. So I think my point was your list is pretty on par for what's going on this year. I personally have Josh Allen number 1. All right. I mean, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, 0 turnovers for him so far. He's got his team playing way better than they should be as a Bills team. He's my number 1. Number 2 right now. Fuck it, give me Jalen Hurts. I go Justin Herbert, but I still just have a fear factor with him. I'm sorry, I just do. But 6 touchdowns, 1 pick for Herbert. Put Justin there. Put Jalen there.
You got to trust Jim Harbaugh more.
The only reason I'm putting Jalen too, because a lot of people are going to be like, "You're a homer." Well, I'm gonna tell you why. 1, because Jalen does now have the history that gives him a small boost when you come into conversations like this, just like Josh Allen does. He's an MVP. You know, you give him a little bit of the benefit. Jalen won game number 1 with his legs. All right. Game number 2 wasn't too great. But game number 3, he came right with his mind. Good way to put it. And game number 3, he came back in the second half and threw the ball. Yes. 3 touchdown passes. So
look at the versatility there. Look at the 3 different styles of
exactly.
So that's a great way to put it. There's 3 different styles: mind, ability, and effort.
Yep. Mind, athleticism, right, in the arm.
It's funny you don't have a category. It's funny you don't have a category for that, do you?
No, right. You never will. Number 3, I'll put Herbert for now. Number 4, I'm gonna go just off the 3 weeks here and put Daniel Jones. I think he's been that good. Number 5, I'm gonna put probably Baker, maybe.
Yep.
3 Baker or Stafford.
Hey, 3 scoring drives.
Probably toss Darnold in there as well at some point. Darnold's playing good football again.
I don't know
By the way, I gotta
give him.
I think it's. I know why you're docking him. I know why you're docking him.
The last 3 games of the year last year, I can't erase.
Exactly. And you've seen it too many times. Like somebody put in here, Daniel Jones is on pumpkin watch. And I agree. He is on pumpkin watch. But like we've seen Darnold literally turn to the pumpkin, even after last year when he had such a good season. So I think that's probably why you're docking Darnold. Jordan Love, I would put up there, but boy, that was not a good game that he had on Sunday.
And you lost to the Browns.
So, but he's had an okay start to the year. Baker, Mahomes obviously is going to be in there at some point, and I don't really think anyone else.
Put Dak in there?
Yeah, that's what I forgot. I'm putting Dak in there. Dak's playing good, man. I just don't like the turnovers, though. Like, you can't turn the ball over that much. He has 3 picks. He's top of the NFL right now. He's second to Geno Smith right now. I think. I mean, who leads the league in interceptions? Jake Browning has 5 picks. Tua has 4 picks. Geno has 4. Trevor Lawrence has 4. Joe Flacco has 4. And then you got the 3 bunch. You got CJ Stroud, by the way. Hello.
He's coming
you
back.
You've been saying you weren't buying an Ohio State quarterback. He had a hell of a rookie year, but I don't know. He doesn't look the same right now.
Well, he better straighten it out, or he's going to be back in that Ohio State bucket. Quarterbacks that didn't get it done, man, because he look, I'm very high on him, and I'm going to give him the benefit here. But, boy, I'll tell you better start straightening it out, or you're going to be in that Ohio State bucket there. So, yeah, interesting. Let's get to the Supers, bro.
All right, let's do it, man. Shells, I'm sorry again. All right, you all right over there?
Will you please? Now you're making me uncomfortable. Now you're making me uncomfortable.
I just wanted, that was for Aunt Betty. You know, I might have to give an extra one because Aunt Betty, she's going to be pissed at me. Kimberly says,
I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry I said this.
Well, you know, you had to air it out to the public. I had to come back and
now,
say,
you know what? Hey,
I said it on the show. That's why I think it was an apology was in order.
I should know better, man.
Kimberly says, McVay went competitive because Stafford's back is bad. Well, how competitive did he go? Because he 4th and 2 like 4 times and he kicked the field goal every time.
I think she means that he went conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah,
okay,
I think that's where she is, where he went conservative. That he did. Maybe that's the case, but man, you got Philly on the ropes, dude. You don't get a chance to put that team on the ropes like that.
Yeah.
You had them and you let them go.
Matt Inferno says, should Fred Johnson move to right guard once Lane is healthy?
No.
Steve, dude, so right now, outside of Lane Johnson, our highest graded offensive lineman is Tyler Steen. My lot is higher than him. But he's the highest interior guy over Landon and over Cam, who both don't look themselves right now.
No, they're not.
So, like, for all the people who, you know, sometimes people get pissed in the offseason, and I get it, you know, there's no way to correct it. And people say, oh, you're worried about the offensive linemen and the surgeries. They're going to be just fine.
We brought it up every time.
Yeah, they haven't had a great start so far. So let's see what happens with Landon, who's still banged up, and Cam Jurgens, who had back surgery, which,
let me ask you this. If you're the Eagles, you still run that tush push when both your guard and your center are banged up like that?
I know.
Ask yourself
if you
go that route with it.
I think Beck, you know, Anthony Beck on your show today brought up a good point where he's just like, get down there, your head and your neck. Like, I get it. It's a football play. I know people love it, but I don't know. I mean, that offensive line, we need that.
Do you think that tush push had something to do with his back?
I don't know. Which one are you talking about?
Cam Jurgens.
Oh, you think the back injury had something to do with
the tush push? You think the back injury had
something? Well, if it did and they're running it, then they're stupid. Because Jalen would be successful without having to do all that.
I agreed.
And by the way, you also have Saquon. Now, I'm not saying that we're handed off to Saquon. I'm just saying, I mean, can Saquon Barkley not get me half a yard? I don't know. I feel like he can. All right. Here's Josh. What's up, Josh? Sills, what's your theory on OSU QBs? Go ahead. You can. It's not a theory. It's fact.
Well, basically. Name me a quarterback outside of C.J. Stroud that's ever been an NFL star in Ohio State. I mean, from Ohio State. In their 160 years of football, name me one. Name me one quarterback that went on to be a Pro Bowl quarterback and led a team to a Super Bowl who was a really great football player. There's not one. They don't produce quarterbacks. You know who else doesn't produce great quarterbacks? Southern Cal. They don't produce great quarterbacks. Carson Palmer? Who else? Name me another guy. Is Caleb Williams good? You think he's great? I don't know. You know,
like I mean, he's got talent. I tell you what, that flea flicker throw the other night, the Luther Burden.
Great throw.
Holy shit, that was a cannon, dude.
Great throw.
Caught that thing and let that thing fly, man.
Right? Bama would be wrong because you'd have to go Namath and you'd have to go Stabler, Richard Todd.
Yeah, you'd have to.
They've got Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I guess there is a couple in the league right now that. Yeah. I mean, Jalen.
Yeah,
right.
Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen's the Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP. You know, so Josh, appreciate it. Latin, we got that. Big Marsh says, I told y'all, Xander, it's freaking Nick.
Marshall, I agree with you. It's old Nicky Two Shoes.
Nicky ain't wrong right now, though. Until he's wrong, he's technically not wrong.
That ain't your record, Nick. It's Jalen's record.
Is it?
You think that's your record?
Does Nick have that problem or does the organization have that problem?
The organization does.
Jalen is a Bama quarterback. He got his degree from Bama, Nimrod. Yes, he is.
And he was the SEC.
Don't listen to his – wait a second. He crashed Jordan Davis's interview with Maria Taylor the other night, and walking out of the room, he said, "Roll Tide" to him, Brian Pumper, because they were talking about Georgia boys. Shut up, Pump.
Pump.
Shut up, Pump.
Oklahoma was a stop.
I got a Jalen Hurts #2 jersey because I loved him because we were both at Alabama at the same time.
Bro, he's the SEC Player of the Year. Come on now.
Yeah, come on, Pump.
That's a great honor, dude, being SEC Player of the Year. Shit, dude, I'd love to have that.
He always says roll sooner when he does that Sunday night thing. Roll sooner. Roll Tide and Oklahoma Sooners. The dorky-ass Sooners.
Dorky. Sooners
Brian
are good
Pump. Yeah, I know they are. Brian Pump says, Sills reminds me of some of our casual fanboys in the chat who Bucky Irving and Buka and Chris Godwin are. These bums thinking Enduri and Blankenshitty are worthy. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, okay, Bucky Irvin is a really good ball player.
A really good player.
White's a good second back they have. And Buka looks like the part. Chris Godwin is coming back. And Tristan Wirfs is also coming back. But no Mike Evans. That kid McCullen that they had too, they're missing. He's out for at least another 4 weeks. But I got to tell you, man, I don't know. I think this is going to come down to the Eagle defensive line stopping the run. And I also think it's going to be on the other end. Let me say this to you, man. If the Buccaneers can get some run game going and they can run the football on that Eagle defense, this is going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think this is a fourth quarter football game.
Nah. Maybe Baker could make it that. Baker's playing really good ball, man. I like Baker a lot.
Yes.
I'm a big guy. Look at Twiz. Look at this Nimrod Twiz. All right, where you go? Jalen's an Eagle. F-Bam and the Sooners. We are. Shut up, Twiz. We are stinks. And by the way, Twiz, I got a notification your jersey delivered. Did you get it? I got Twiz got a Coop jersey this week. You'll like that. Sills loves Coop. J5 says, I love both of your takes, fellas. Best show ever. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Best show ever. Question. What is the best option for our secondary? Base and nickel? That's what they're running right now. Base and 10, 15% of the time and nickel most of the other time.
He answered it. Okay, nickel, because, hey, how about that, what they're doing? A lot of teams now are blitzing the Eagles on first and second down. I went back and looked at the first 3 games. Dude, there is a high volume of blitzing now going on in the NFL. More pressure.
Especially on the Eagles. That's what John said. If you listen to the Birds 365 show, John subtly will say what his concerns are. Subtly. It takes forever to get it out of him, but sometimes he says them. He says today, his concern is that they haven't been able to pick up the blitz. They've been struggling against the blitz.
Yeah.
Teams keep bringing it. He said that Lane Johnson told them after the game in all of his career, he's never seen someone run zero blitz as many times as Spags did in that Chiefs game.
And get this. You got the king of blitzes coming up here this weekend. Todd Bowles is going to bring the house.
Dude, I like Todd Bowles.
So good.
I like Todd Bowles.
Bro, me too, man. I have a great.
Yeah, you might like him a little too much. You got the Bucs at #2. You got Baker Mayfield at #2. It's like, all right, Sills.
I really don't.
A little bit of Bucs glaze going.
Hold on. I didn't say they're going to win. I did not say that. They're going to have to.
Big Drag says, hey, Z, how do you feel about Brian? I know ball pumper being 0-3 in predictions. He's about to be 0-4 too, Big Drag. Guy's a Nimrod and he knows it. Come on, Pump. Come on, Pump. You got a ways to go. Dio says, we're going to use the power of pickle juice. I don't know what that means. What's that called?
Pickle juice.
Okay. All right. Big Mark says, okay, since Reed has love, CJ still helps. We can drop him in nickel and move Cooper to CB2. I don't think they're moving CB Cooper out there, dude.
If it's possible and they can get.
You see that? They did run a lot of base last week and they did have Coop on the outside.
I did see that. I did. Yeah. That's the first time I think I've seen that.
Yeah. So that was cool.
All right. I got to pay some bills here, man. I didn't take one break yet.
We're going to have to do a 30 because we got to get to these supers. I mean, these people keep us on the air, dude. J5, as far as personnel, I forgot to add base and nickel. So I guess he's talking about who in what packages.
Correct.
Well, I think you're going to see, basically what you've seen in the first 3 weeks is probably where they're going to keep going. Now, what I want to see is I don't want to see Sidney Brown on the field anymore in base. Just leave him, just leave Makuba, let him learn and improve. That would be my only change.
Guy now.
And Sidney's just a liability. He got blown up.
Did you hear Vic say that Keely's going to get a shot?
Well, that's because the other guys are hurt. Adoree and Jaquan are hurt.
How come he can't?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. All right, here's Big Marsh. Understandable, Xander, but what chemistry and communication Reed stinks. He's got a C on his chest, and that's who manages the secondary through Vic Fangio, dude. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Whether you think he stinks or not, he does do the communicating back there.
Do you think he earned it, or do you think they showed it on him?
I don't know, man. You heard Slight last year.
I
He'd be
did.
the next guy. You know, I don't think
I'm asking you.
that,
I'm not.
Well, I mean, if you don't have that comment, then maybe you can wonder if they just gave it to him this year. But it seems like he was the natural evolution of it because of what he showed. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
I think his leadership back there is important. I do.
Yeah, I disagree. Jalen has solely willed this team to 3-0. I agree with that, Mark.
I completely agree with that.
All right, I think we got them all. You got to take a break. This dude is 7 hours and he goes 4 straight on the National Football Show.
You know why?
Without a single break.
You know why? Because I'm going to do what you just did. Because I'm a motherfucker. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
hey, Xander.
Wait, we never responded to what this guy's second part of his take. Xander, I'm sure Sills has been called worse. Thank you, Josh. He's got his panties in a bind over saying he's out. Like,
oh my God. I will never do that again now.
I might start unleashing on the postgame show. I was so fired up in the postgame show. So, wait a second. We're like 60 seconds into Jordan Davis returning a blocked field goal. Ready? And this is Sills.
Oh, wait.
Saquon Barkley sucks all of a sudden. I'm like, yo,
wait.
What are we talking about here?
18.59 miles per hour for a guy 330 plus pounds.
Oh, man.
Dude, this guy ran 20 miles an hour down the field at 340 miles.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. He's a beast.
No, that's freak show stuff.
Jordan Davis is coming. He's coming. I know you see it too because you've totally lightened up.
Well, that's what happens when you lay off the White Castles.
Well, you're right. Big Sills versus J-Wack next week. We need him to fight. Yeah, I agree. We got to get these two in the heavyweight range.
Yeah, well, don't wait. Well, when
I'm tired of Curmudgeon 1 being afraid of Curmudgeon 2 and vice versa.
I wish you'd just say fuck you now then instead of doing that.
I got to filibuster between you two every week. It's a nightmare. All right, I love you. Dude.
I love you, man. I'll talk to you
again, man. Don't get your panties in a bind. We're talking sports. It's Philly.
Okay.
Maybe we launch a new channel that covers the left coast teams. That might fit your style a little better over there.
This is terrible. Okay, wait. Hey, I hope you have a good time watching Jimmy Kimmel tonight.
Yeah, not me. No sport, no football on Tuesdays. Tuesday's worst day. All right, love you, brother.
Man. All right, brother. We'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365. Let's pay some bills here. Folks, my good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in the world for a reason. It's because they win cases. Plain and simple, thousands of attorneys from coast to coast make sure that they defend you and your family to the best of their abilities. Absolutely true. This is what they do, and this is what they have been asked to do for families. Making sure when insurance companies come in and give you fraudulent claims, they go in and make sure your families are represented. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
All right, folks, we really appreciate it. By the way, this is going to be an absolutely sensational game this week, and we appreciate you guys coming aboard. Battle Royale is tomorrow, as advertised always, 2 to 6. Big Z, Big Joe, thank you. We will see you then, and we'll catch you on the flip side.